What up, what up? This is David from the 5-6 Kings. And guys, it's happening again. It's happening. I thought we put the kibosh on it like fucking 2 months ago here on the 5-6 Kings, but no. Franchisees. There's a petition going around. Subway and also like McDonald's and 7-Eleven and some other franchisees. Some fucking companies that don't measure up to Subway. They're petitioning the FTC to investigate Subway for their mistreatment of the franchises. The FTC, the fucking tall chimps, right? FTC. What is it, Braden? What Federal Trade Commission? Federal Trade Commission. They're like, oh, you gotta see what they're doing to us. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys and your families. You don't deserve to be part of Subway. 7-Eleven franchise, sure. Sure, 7-Eleven is probably terrible. It probably sucks over there. You're right to do it. McDonald's, sure. Whatever. There's another fast food place. There's a barbecue place I don't think I've ever heard of. And they were also in the article. And I was like, what do you... Subway, McDonald's, 7-Eleven, like those are three of the biggest companies as far as food in America. And they're like, but also this little barbecue place, they got like 6 locations. They're doing some bad stuff over here. I don't get why they don't got Megan Rapinoe over at that barbecue place. She won't do it. She'll only do Subway. But guys, I implore you, let's start our own commission or our own petition. Let's start our own petition, and we're going to petition the White House. Take the franchises away from the franchisees and give them to corporate Subway. Because corporate Subway deserves it, guys. Those franchisees are ungrateful. They don't deserve shit. So, Mr. President, I implore you, take the franchises away from the franchisees. Rip them from them. Put them in prison. And give them to the CEO of Subway. Because, you know what? Corporate Subway, they're good enough for Tony Hawk. And they're good enough to run every motherfucking franchise in this company. Subway, I'm going to bat for you 10 times out of 10. And all I ask is that you please give us money. Thanks, guys. Enjoy this week's episode.
This the Palm Beach County anthem. All my Palm Beach County niggas, y'all put them fucking guns in there and bust them shit. Bitch, I'm from Palm Beach County, that's where I'm from. When niggas get gunned down and left slung from, I'm just for fucking round. This ain't a county for you bitches to come around.
What up, and welcome to another episode of the 5-6 Kings podcast. I'm David Breen. With me, as always, my dear friend and co-host, Braden Bullard. Braden, how are you, man?
Dude, I'm a little tired, bro. I gotta tell you, I had a long night, David.
What happened?
There's only 3 words that come to my mind. Abduct and fuck.
Abduct and fuck.
Abduct and fuck. I think I got abducted and fucked. By
adults?
No, dude, like a bunch of aliens, bro.
Oh.
Yeah. No, honestly, I was up fucking all last night watching this movie. And it just like, I felt like in the beginning too, I couldn't hear like what they were saying because maybe there was like a bunch going on or something. But I had to like keep replaying and be like, what the fuck did they say?
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Right?
A lot of people talking over each other, a lot of background noise louder than the people talking.
And that's 1970s film for you. Am I right?
No, I mean...
No?
Didn't deal with it in Jaws. Yeah, Jaws, I could hear people perfectly.
He cleaned it up on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like The Godfather was in the 70s.
I don't know what I'm
At no point was I like, man, I wish I could hear what Marlon Brando's saying.
Do you think he just gave, like, the background actors too much freedom? They just fucked up the audio?
I think it was just not a good movie. That's what I think.
Just jump into it.
I texted Braid last night. I said, new rule. Anytime you pick a gay fucking movie, it has to be under 2 hours. Yeah, that's the new podcast rule.
I'm going to tell you, when I picked the movie, I I didn't remember that it was over 2 hours. But, like, yeah, I mean, they could have cut out so much.
But, like, here's the thing. If you were a child in 1977, I'm sure this was amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm an adult
Yeah.
in 2021.
Well, David, I'm not.
who saw Avengers Endgame in theater and was like, "Oh, this is crazy."
This is the best
And then
thing
I
I've
watched
seen.
this. I'm like, "Oh, this isn't cool."
Yeah, it's hard
It's
to jump
cool.
back 50
It's not
years.
cool.
In film.
It's not a good movie. Kind of left with my dick in my hand, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not just because of Barry. You know what I'm saying?
God damn it, Barry. Bro, okay, so I don't know. Did you just hear that?
No.
Maybe. Okay, you didn't hear. Okay, well, David and I thought there was an abduct and fuck happen. Oh, that was you.
That was
Okay.
me. That was my
okay.
foot. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was
okay.
my foot. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
a little bit ago, we were.
Real quick, I did not think it was an abduct and fuck.
What'd you think it was, David? Huh?
I thought it was. I said squirrels are birds, and you said nah. It's got to be like an iguana. And I was like, you know, Braden probably saw an iguana earlier. He's like, you want to go see it? I'm like, yeah, let's go fucking see the iguana on the balcony.
We do have like iguanas that end up sometimes on the porches.
But turns out, what was it?
Well,
We saw it.
I guess it was
Don't
squirrels.
shrug and be like, oh.
Those squirrels must have been fucking or something. That's what I was telling David. I was like, they were making a lot of ruckus up there then. If those, but we come down and the squirrels are like bumping in my little courtyard. So I don't.
Yeah, like chasing each other around out on the patio.
Yeah.
Yeah, squirrels being squirrels, man.
Yeah.
Squirrel. What are you gonna do? Squirrel gonna squirrel.
Maybe the squirrels are aliens. Did you see that there's like a legitimate conspiracy that all the birds are like created by the government to spy on us? Have you seen that? That's like a legitimate conspiracy.
No, but like, I'd be pumped.
Right?
That was because you're like,
No, it's like legit. I'm not even
yeah,
kidding.
but dude, like I have an iPhone. It tracks my location. It stores everything I do on it. Like government doesn't need millions of birds to know what I'm up to.
Which is exactly my thought. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
they can already track
they know
my
what
data.
I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. They can just tap
If
in.
I ever run for office, someone's meeting me in a room being like, you need to drop out right now. They're going to just hand me a file of a bunch of stuff. I'm like, you know what, all right.
You looked up some fucked
you're
up
right.
shit. They're going to go back to 2003 with me and I think you and probably, I'm throwing you in.
I mean, they can go to this morning and I'd be like, you know what? Yep. You're right.
I had to jump back.
Can't be president doing that.
Oh my God. Just a simple, history search.
Yeah.
And anyone's going to find out some shit
that's all
on
it
you.
takes.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I'm good. I'm just a little delusional, long night.
How was your week? That
Good.
was a long night.
Good. Had a good weekend. We me and the pals went out to Hurricane Wings. That was the highlight of my weekend. Shout out to Hurricane.
Because I watched Brayden methodically. It took him. He got 10 wings.
Let me tell you guys, it was.
He got 10 wings. It took him 20 minutes to eat them because he's just methodically like picking them apart and like pulling chicken off the tendons and stuff and eating it. Like I got it was called the Mac Daddy burger. It's the biggest thing I've ever eaten in my life. I ate that and fries, and I was done 6 minutes before Brayden was done with his 10 wings. I was just staring at him. I was like, dude, and he got a quesadilla. Brayden is like going out to eat with a 4-year-old with how long it takes him.
Yeah, so like my dad would be so disappointed because my dad, he just grabs the wing and he's like, every single time we go out and eat wings, he's like, Brayden, watch this. But you've never seen this before. I'm like, I see it every fucking time. And you say this exact words every time. And he'll just like basically deep throat the fucking wing and just come out just bone.
Yeah.
Just bone. Like ate all the fat, the tendons, everything. He's like, oh, that. He's like, that's it. That's it. Like overly showing off how he could do it. He's like, oh, you don't believe me? I'll do it twice. Yeah. I'm like, no, I saw it the first time.
You don't believe me?
yeah. Just witnessed it. But yeah, so if he was to see me just picking the chicken out from the he'd be like, what the fuck did I raise?
He'd leave.
Yeah.
But I'm not fucking doing this.
Yeah, and then I got a quesadilla. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I know what I was thinking.
We were at Hurricane Wings.
It's because my mom, she went to Taco Chulo. She was talking quesadilla. She put it in my mind. It was resonating for hours.
Yeah, but you went to like a chicken wing and burger place.
Yeah.
And like they're not gonna have a great chicken quesadilla.
It was honestly terrible.
Yeah.
It was very bad.
Of course it was.
Yeah. So shout out to anyone who is thinking about getting a quesadilla at Hurricane Wings. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. How was your weekend, Dave? Or week? How was your week, David?
My week was good. Work was work. Work
Yeah.
work always be work. Friday I went
That's
down
right.
with some people. We went down to see Tom Segura
How
at
was
the Hard
that?
Rock I'd never been. The new theater is gorgeous.
I haven't been to the new Hard Rock. How was
So we just went for the show.
Okay.
We didn't do anything. It's crazy. It's crazy.
But you probably get to like see it a little bit.
There's a bunch of clubs. It's like a mall with clubs and nice restaurants. And
Look at that.
there's a restaurant that's just caviar. It looks like.
It's like in the middle of nowhere, I feel like.
Looks sure it's Hollywood, baby.
Yeah, true.
It's fucking Hollywood.
Yeah.
No, driving in there, you pass. It's great. You pass like 8 pawn shops,
Yeah.
like within a mile radius of there, because
got gold?
they're just like, if you lost the table, well, if you got a ring, you can come get like $80. Get back in there.
Yeah.
Win your money back. You know?
Dude, it's fucked. That's exactly the plan.
But went and saw Tom Segura. Jeff Tate opened for him. Jeff Tate was good.
Nice.
He was very good. Tom Segura was fantastic. He's maybe the best comedian working right now. He's great.
Nice.
End of the show. Tom says his last joke. Punchline.
Knocked it out the park.
Great joke. We hear lady behind us spills her drink. I feel a little wet on my back. The guy next to me who I'm with is very wet on his back. And we're like, what the fuck? And like, show's over. Lights come on. We stand up. I look behind. Turns out she did not spill her drink. She is just vomiting in a cup.
Oh, my God.
In her seat, just violently, aggressively throwing up in a cup. And that's what... So, like, I got a tiny bit. The guy next to me, his back's covered in it. He bought a new shirt before we left. Fantastic. Like, that just doesn't happen in the world. You know, strangers don't throw up on strangers in nice theaters where you're seeing where you're seeing a stand-up comedy show. That just doesn't happen.
So you enjoyed it?
I thought it was... In the moment, I was like, that fucking sucks. As we were walking out, it kind of just, like, settled in, like, oh, my God, that really just happened. And I laughed harder than I laughed during... Tom Segura was amazing.
Yeah.
But walking out of that theater, I laughed harder than I did throughout the whole show, thinking about, holy shit, that lady just threw up on him. And, like, worst case scenario for her. Best for us if we're going to get thrown up on, because it's end of the show.
Yeah.
We're getting out of there. But for her, if she does it mid-show, all the lights are off, there's a very good chance that, like, she does it and then she just leaves.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't stay in that seat. She leaves. She gets out of there.
Don't even know who the culprit is.
We don't know it's throw up until, like, eventually we start smelling it. We're like, what the fuck is that? But, like, probably till after the show, we don't know it's throw up.
It'd be great if Tom saw it. And
we were fucking third balcony. He was not seeing shit where we were.
I just like to think that you guys were like 10th row or something. He's like, put the light on them. And he's like, oh, you guys got throw up on you. Oh, ew, get them out of here.
But she was with this dude, and the guy I was with, like, he started yelling at her, and he called her a stupid cunt.
No way.
And then, like, the dude stood up, and it's a bad mood. The guy I was with beat the shit out of, like, guy was on the ground. He was stomping, like, caving his head in. And we got out of there, but that was fucking crazy.
No word sense? Like,
yeah, no, I mean, I haven't looked shit up.
it'd be great if Tom Segura just was like, dude, someone got fucking curb stomped.
Murdered,
right?
yeah. That didn't really happen. We just left.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't really do that.
You know, it's just, you know, you can expect it with a king such as yourself, David.
I wouldn't do it, no.
Oh.
I'm not as confrontational as you are.
But the people...
You would have. You
but
know
the
what?
people
You know what?
associated with you.
You know what, though? When it not even joking, I was like, you know what? I'm glad that wasn't Braden. Because Braden wouldn't be this cool about it. He would, because like best case scenario, she's like, here, like, sorry, man, here's $20. Go buy a shirt in the gift shop downstairs. Like, that's best case scenario. You would not have left without like confronting them about it and be like, no, you threw up on me. That's crazy. Like, for sure, it would have been a full on confrontation. And best case scenario, like, here's 20, go buy a shirt.
I need monthly payments.
Sorry. Yeah, like, you're like, no, dude, $20? Are you kidding me? No. You're coming, I'm going to pick out a nice shirt. You're coming with me. I'm going.
Right now, we're going to go to the shop.
Yeah, and she's throwing up. Like, you would have been a fucking asshole about it.
You know what, David? Maybe I would have, all right?
You would have, for sure. You wouldn't have just walked out and like, whatever. You wouldn't have been like, that guy's night is definitely worse than mine.
Listen.
Because he's dealing with her throwing up in a cup.
I got big standards, David. I'm a 5'6" king. I got to let everyone know. You know, especially if I'm being disrespected.
I mean, not real kings. Real kings don't got to let shit know.
Well, their associates need to let them know for them, which is what...
Real kings, it's understood.
God damn it, David.
On Saturday, watch the Knowles get one in the win column, baby. Boom.
Nice.
1-4.
Nice.
That was their fourth home game, and they almost lost it. It was last second field goal. Not a pretty win. It was sloppy,
but they got the job.
They got the job done. That's what matters at the end of the day. Very sloppy, but
do they still have the
win's a win?
The dude on the horse parade around like in the beginning?
Chief Osceola?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he fucking stabs the ground still and everything.
Throws the flaming spear in there. Yeah, you think they're ever going to get rid of that?
It's
not an inherently racist thing. Like, they don't call him a redskin. Going out there, he's
no,
paying,
it had nothing to do with that, really.
Yeah. So like, they're never going to get rid of it because like he's paying homage to an actual chief in the Seminole Indian tribe.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you're that specific about it, it's a specific tribe. They give scholarships and shit.
I was thinking more because
it never gets taken away. They're not like the Cleveland Indians who are like just have a crazy racist looking.
No, I had nothing to do with that.
Just smiling. Yeah, I'm not saying, but like, this would be going off on a different thing.
Yeah.
A crazy like smiling chief on their hem, and people are like, that's fucking crazy. People don't look like that, or calling themselves the Redskins. It's crazy. It's crazy that it took so long for people to be like, hey, let's not name the football team that, you fucking assholes.
Yeah, I remember the South Park episode where
it was great. Washington Redskins, go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
it was great.
There was so much debate. They're like, dude, that's the best name.
It is the best name.
Yeah.
But they got the W.
Nice.
And then Sunday, the Dolphins. I don't want to talk too much about it.
It basically, what does this basically set the rest of the season up for like what to expect?
No, you ask me this every week. It's not a thing in the world.
Well, it's because every time I hear people talk
early
about it,
in the season, you don't be like, this is what to. There are 17 games in the season. They've played 4 of them. You don't go, this is what to expect. And so, you know what? Every Brian Flores coach team has started off very slow. Last year they started 1-3. They ended up going, they're 1-3 right now. They ended up going 9-3 down the stretch, being 10-6, not making the playoffs though, which is what happens when you start off slow. It's tougher to make the playoffs. Who the fuck knows? It's disappointing that it's the same, like, the Raiders game. They waited until they were down by multiple scores in the fourth quarter to start taking shots downfield.
Yeah.
That's the same fucking thing they did this week. And guess what? Devontae Parker's still a good fucking wide receiver. Like, it's not like he's this crazy breakout guy no one knew, like, oh, I could throw the ball up for him, he's going to go get it. It's Devontae Parker. He's been doing it for years. And it took fourth quarter, and Jacoby Brissett's just like, fuck it, I'm just throwing it up for Devontae and letting him try to make plays. And Devontae makes the plays.
They need it.
He's got Xavier Rhodes, who I love Xavier Rhodes, but he's over the hill. He's got Xavier Rhodes covering him. Devontae's going to fucking feast on him.
And what, they're just what would you call that on? Do you think that's the play calling or the
Brian
quarterback?
Flores, after the game, said their goal was to take shots early. Early on, there were plenty of shots that were checked down, is how he phrased it. There were plenty of so it sounds
saying like we made the play calls, but the QB never.
Sounds like Jacoby Brissett didn't want to take shots and just took the safer check down.
Who was saying that though? Do you think that's someone trying to cover his own back or something, or like who was saying this?
No one thinks Brian Flores calls the plays on offense.
Okay.
He's the head coach, but he's a defensive head coach.
It would be great though if it was some coach trying to like cover his own back. Like, it's just I made the right play call. It's just a QB not executing.
Yeah, no, and I believe him. I think
yeah,
Jacoby Brissett. He's a local kid.
Mm-hmm.
No one was more excited than the 5-6 Kings when he signed with the Dolphins.
That's right.
Nobody. But he's not. Like they need to get Tua back. They're 1-0 with Tua.
Yeah,
they're 1-0 in games that Tua played the whole game. Everything people want to hate on Tua, talk shit, say trade Tua and 3 more players and 4 first-round picks and get Deshaun Watson, who Deshaun Watson's great.
Yeah.
You hope talent-wise Tua's at his level at some point in his career. Deshaun Watson might go to prison for the rest of his life.
Jesus.
He has like 20 women who are like, he made me shove my fingers up his ass and all this like... It's not cool stuff that's going on in Deshaun Watson's life.
Wow.
You don't trade a bunch of stuff for him unless you know, it's settled.
Yeah.
And he's not getting suspended.
Yeah.
You don't risk it at this point.
Yeah, there's no way.
But they're 1-0 this year with Tua. Last year they were 6-3 in games that Tua started. Like, the dude, people want to hate on him. People want to say, he's not that good. They win when Tua's in.
That's it.
They're 7-3 in games that he's played.
Well, motherfucker, they need to get Tua in.
Yeah, he's out one more week, which is Tampa Bay. Even with Tua, I don't feel confident about them beating Tom Brady, the defending world champions. We'll see. Anything can happen. It's the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can happen. But
anything.
I think we're likely looking down the barrel of a 1-4 start. But then they get Tua back. They got Jacksonville. They got Atlanta. Then they got Buffalo again. Win 2 of those games. 3-5. It's not ideal. But let's get Tua back. Let's get Raekwon Davis back next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
Let's try and get some wins.
Couldn't have said it better, David.
No, you definitely couldn't have. But let's dive into this awesome movie you picked.
Fine. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, but we should go over first.
Yeah, that's why I nudged to you because we're gonna do the things that you have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we start with budget?
Like we always do.
Should we start with budget?
Yeah.
All right. Well, what the fuck do you think the budget was, David? This is 1977. Was it?
Fucking.
Yeah, 1977. What do you think the budget was in 1977?
Is it? So like I need you to answer this question. Okay. Is it comparable to budgets of today for like a sci-fi thriller movie?
Definitely less.
But
for like a sci-fi thriller
comparable. Because my mind goes to like 15 million, and am I just way off with that?
No,
20 million.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, 20 million.
Yeah.
Do you think that's like really high for this film, or like
who the fuck knows?
Comparison because of the
I don't
time
know.
difference. Yeah. I would say if I had a guess,
it looked like a child drew the UFOs.
What?
So, but you thought they were awesome. You were like,
whoa,
look at how cool that is. Like that's
I would
how
say the last one was good. I would say the ones like that they see kind of like more in the beginning and stuff like that are flying around. Those it's kind of like
I give
but the last one I think
give
my detailed.
I give my 6-year-old niece Avery
a
box of crayons and a piece of paper, and she draws that last one.
You're so this. You know what? Now we're gonna have to put a picture up. That's one of the pictures that's going up either on the story or something.
Yeah, sure.
And then I'll get a little poll for it. Could your niece draw this with crayons?
Could David's niece? Not could your... People have fucking dumb nieces. Could David's niece draw this with crayons?
Let's get some backstory
yes.
on this niece. Is she like a fucking 5-star drawer or something?
You would want backstory on my 6-year-old niece, you fucking freak.
Jesus Christ.
You're a fucking freak, man. I come here to talk about movies.
I'm wondering the IQ level here, David.
You're sitting here with a boner talking about 6-year-olds.
David is crazy, you guys. I'm not even going to defend myself. You fuck. All right, so how much do you think it made?
I think it made about $306.1 million.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, right before the movie, I was like, "Oh, do you need me?" Because like he was in the shower and stuff. He's like getting set up. I'm like, "Do you need me to find awards and budget and stuff?" He's like, "Yeah, please." And then I start sending him stuff, and he's like, "Are you really? I don't need it. I found it already. What are you talking about?" I was like, well, "Why would you say yeah?" Felt like a normal. So I saw the budget already, guys. I didn't see the budget. Sorry, I saw the box office.
Yeah.
So I know it made $306.1 million.
That just shows you that this was the most poppin' fucking movie in 1977.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was. I'm sure all this stuff was awesome, but dude, like, I'm grading this from a 2021 lens.
But are you great like on all aspects of like the film you're saying, or just because right now you're shitting on the visual aspects? But
I don't think it was a good movie.
Like script wise, you're saying.
Yeah, I hated it.
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss and his family, Barry's mom, the fucking French interpreter who also works on maps. Like I hated so much of this movie. It was a bad movie.
I mean, I didn't like some little details. I thought the overall like film was, pretty decent. I thought it was like intriguing concept to like the.
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah,
Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, Metacritic, Google users. It's gonna make me sick. Whatever they gave it.
Oh yeah. There's
because like it's people who saw it when it came out, and I'm sure I'm sure E.T. was awesome when it came out. The Wizard of Oz was awesome when it came out. But like it's 50 years later, and
dude, this thing made
it's not
over
cool.
300.
Yeah, no, I get it.
That is so crazy, dude. Like, so like when we talk about all the time when that's like a $20 million budget and they make like 60 or 70 or some shit, and then you ask me like, is that not enough, David? This is enough.
This is enough. This is what you want.
This is what you want. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I want 30 times my fucking profit.
Only 15 times your profit.
All right, David, I get it. I'm being ridiculous. All right. So what did you give it? I know that you don't like it.
Nope.
What? We're going to something else?
So last week, like, you asked, and I assumed you were fucking with me because you do it every week. And now, like, you have this weird, serious look on your face. We always do IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic and Google. Do theirs before our ratings.
There's people that are listening and they're like, bro, I'm please, Brayden, say it again. I'm dying for you.
But real quick, you're not allowed to act like you were fucking with me here. Because you genuinely asked me that question. You genuinely thought, all right, let's do our ratings. For sure. You can't backtrack now.
I'm giving David a bunch of different faces.
It's me jiving.
Yeah.
It's just Brayden over here jiving. I know. Get in there. No.
I do it for you guys. All right?
No, you don't. You don't do shit for these guys, all right? Self-serving motherfucker.
Okay. So, IMDb.
Oh, real quick. When you asked how my week was, though. Because we got to backtrack. I got too into the Dolphins, and also, dude, I was like, I don't want to talk about the Dolphins too much, and then you got me going. You got me going very easily. I was like, I don't want to spend too much time on it. You're like, well, you think this is what the rest of the year is going to be like? I'm like, fuck you. Like, fuck you, dude.
All right, fine. Now I'm going to go down the rabbit hole.
I went to yesterday. There's a place, Candid. It's they specialize in cold brew coffee. It's in West Palm, over near Grandview Public Market. I spaced on what it's called. Over near Grandview Public Market, but not at Grandview Public Market. It's Candid. They're only open on Saturday and Sunday right now. Do cold brew. They weren't quite as good as Harold's,
Okay.
but it's a very good cold brew if you're down that way. If you're down
Nice.
that way, you like cold brew coffee, candid. It's in like a garage. It looks like they're luring you in somewhere so they could murder you, but it's not the case. It's like a garage in a warehouse unit. Very good cold brew coffee.
What a delightful
Yeah.
surprise.
And then on my way here today, I stopped. Whole Foods has a little coffee thing,
Uh-oh.
and it was very inexpensive. I got a 16-ounce cold brew. Because I'm a Prime member, it was like $2 and change.
Oh, wow.
But it's not that good.
Yeah.
It's not that. So if you're looking for like, I want to get a very cheap coffee. I just need to grab something, and you're near a Whole Foods, it's fine.
Like it'll
It's,
do.
It's fine, yeah. But they do the thing. Starbucks does it too, and it just annoys me. They're like, oh, our cold brew's so concentrated, so we're gonna pour some in the cup, and then we got a pitcher of water, and we got to cut it
You know, I don't know anything about
and do it like
coffee.
that.
I was literally going to say, what is it, watered down?
Yeah, they cut it with water, and like, you know what? Like, just make your batches larger and mix the water in beforehand. Don't show me that you're gonna pour, because they put barely any coffee in this thing, and then just poured water on top of it.
Is water supposed to be like? I don't know anything about
so
fucking
like
coffee.
people say our cold brew is so concentrated that like you can't drink just the cold brew. We gotta mix.
water it down a little.
It's
bit.
a thing, but this is not cold brew. That's like
That's
I don't
like that.
taste it, and I'm like, oh, this cold brew is so strong, and it would be rough if I was just drinking it.
Wow.
Doesn't taste. Also, cold brew supposed to be like 12 to 24 hours it takes to brew it.
Now, do you think that's just?
Let me finish. All right, let me fucking finish. Cold brew, it's supposed to. You're supposed to do it slow. You're supposed to do it at room temp. It's supposed to take like 12 to 24 hours to brew it. This, honestly, is me being honest here.
Okay.
Tastes like they made a pot of coffee, like regular coffee, and then just threw it in the fridge.
Okay.
Like, tastes like regular, like it's not cold brew. It's
Yeah.
regular hot coffee that they just made cold by throwing it in the fridge. I don't.
So then it's like old at that point. It's like old. and
It's
watered
basically,
down.
it's
yeah.
just old coffee.
Yeah.
Old coffee they threw in a fridge and poured some water on top of.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's cheap. And, like, coffee's coffee, guys. If you're just looking for a little bit of energy, a little pick-me-up, you want to not spend a lot of money, go get a 16-ounce cold brew at Whole Foods, Allegro coffee. It'll be fine.
Or you can get a Bang.
Yeah, but I don't do...
You don't do Bangs in the morning.
in
You
the
do
morning.
coffee in the
Yeah, Bang's all carbonated. Bang's like afternoon. We're doing a podcast, and I'm like, I gotta have some energy for this podcast. Let me drink a Bang.
Let me tell you, David, I got a sickness because I drink pre-workout in the morning. I'm a sick individual.
I couldn't do that. It'd be too itchy.
Yeah. So this has got
Give me the itchies.
Yeah,
I'd be gritting my teeth and just itching my face.
yeah.
and
so,
you'd be like, David's on cocaine.
no, like this has got all the shit in it where you get tingly as fuck, and I'm only drinking it because we're talking aliens here. Am I right? But we're talking abducted fucks. But no, yeah, it's this is ridiculous what I'm doing here. I'm drinking a heavy stimulant, 400 milligram caffeine, fucking just a heart pacer of a drink here. So if I get a little
that's-
off the rails when it comes to aliens, you guys know why.
But hey, that's your life, man. Yeah. I
Yeah.
had a Mac Daddy the other night.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what the fuck was on that burger. I was like, guys.
Guys, if you're gonna go to Hurricane Wings and you're like, I don't really want wings, or if you're like, I want to split wings and get a burger, I got the Mac Daddy. Just let me take you through the tour of the Mac Daddy, and then we'll get into this movie finally.
Yeah.
The Mac Daddy was a burger that had lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, cheese, like a slice of cheese, 3 fried mac and cheese bites,
Oh my god.
3 pieces of bacon, and then they dumped queso cheese all over the fucking thing. It was bananas, but it was amazing.
A whopping like 4,500 calories in
Oh,
one
it was
setting.
it was 1,860 calories.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is a lot, but
That's 40 short of your the Surgeon General's daily.
no, yeah.
They
yeah.
want, and I don't think he's accounting for mac and cheese bites being a part of that.
I was gonna say
1,860 calories.
like it's probably more than 1,800 calories. Like a normal burger is like easily.
Well, what, it was 1,860 calories, Brad.
Yeah, but like a normal cheeseburger is like 1,500 calories, dude.
Are we bringing down Hurricane Wings?
No,
Is that what you think?
That's not.
You think they're lying about? No, I'm excited. You're giving me a face like I'm arguing with you here. I'm excited. I'm saying let's bring them down and let's put a Subway where that hurricane is.
Yeah,
Are they lying about the calories?
I mean for your specific burger,
Yeah,
I would say so. If you got mac and cheese bites, David, on
yeah,
bro,
and bacon,
bacon,
queso
cheese. Yeah,
Guys, also twice I've been to Braden at restaurants where I've had queso. Twice I've been like, oh, hey man, this queso's really good. Try it. And he's been like, no, I'm good. I'm like, dude, take one of my fries. Try the queso. He's like, nah, I'm not doing. I like what I like, and I don't want to mix other flavors in with my food.
you got that right, David.
I was like, you're a fucking asshole.
So
doing
if my
this.
future wife or anyone is listening out there, don't ever fucking pressure me about queso because I ain't fucking trying it. That was a little strong. That's just really for anything. I don't like eating or drinking after other people, and it's like David's been dipping his fries in there. And I just view David
guys,
as just a
so guys,
disgusting
this
human
time,
being.
this time, because I had that experience. This time, before I even touched the fucking queso, before I even touched, they're my fries. Before I touched the fries, I said, "Hey man, take one of my fries, dip it in the queso." He's like, "I'm good, I'm good, bro." And he's just ripping the chicken off the fucking chicken wing bone.
I'm good, cuz.
All right,
Let's dive
let's talk
deep.
reviews.
All right, yeah, that's right. Back to the reviews. So IMDb gave it a 7.6 out of 10. 7.6. Gets better.
I'm sure.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 94%. Damn near perfect. I mean, I think these are probably the highest scores we've had almost to date. I don't know what the fuck this is. Let's see what this is. This is Common Sense. So, not Metacritic. Common Sense Media. Because they got Common Sense,
I'm
David.
familiar with Common Sense Media.
They give it a 5 out of 5.
That's fucking crazy.
Perfect score.
Fucking crazy.
And then, you know them Google users.
Did Metacritic not review it?
They don't, I mean,
Huh, it's interesting.
it's just not up here. They probably did. It's something else I would have to Google on my own, David.
You should have done that before. You should have been prepared for the podcast. What Google users? No, we're past it. What Google users?
Yeah.
We're already like 45 minutes into this.
89%.
It's fucking wild. So what'd you give it, asshole?
I give it a 7.3. It's just my style. It's my, it's my shit. But I agree with you. There's, it was too long and it could have been better. They could have honed in on certain other things, and they could have done a little bit. I don't know. But overall, I think it was good. It was my style, my shit. I'm into aliens. But yeah, 7.3. What did you give it?
2.
Oh, God damn it, David.
This was not a good movie.
You're tripping.
Dude, it was not a good movie. And so, 1977, sure, the graphics were probably cool. I live in a world where it's 45 years later. Graphics were fucking terrible.
They weren't that bad.
It looked like something that was in 1977.
I mean, kind of. Not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Dude, cell phones weren't a thing when that movie came out.
That's right.
Yeah, that was cool for them.
Oh yeah.
For me,
I thought it was, I don't know, a little bit better done than I feel like the way that you're painting it, but
Yeah, you're wrong.
It's all right.
Okay.
Well,
And I'm not knocking Steven Spielberg's excellent director.
yeah.
Does great work. This is a bad movie.
The ratings say otherwise.
Yeah,
David.
those people saw it in 1977. They're like, I can't believe there's a spaceship in the sky.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You seeing this? You guys see that spaceship?
I don't know, bro. I mean, I thought the script was pretty decent. I don't know. I thought the overall storyline was intriguing and just different, and it was just a cool perspective on aliens. But yeah, I feel like they just could have cleaned it up more and made it just overall faster, just of a movie. But a 2?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Damn.
Here's
A 2.
Here's because like older movies can be good movies. This movie relied on being like, oh, we're gonna show awesome UFOs, and we're gonna show fucking aliens and like cool stuff, and that's what's gonna do it for the people. And had I been born in 1970 and I saw this as a child in the movie theaters or at a drive-in in 1977, I'd have given this like an 8 probably. I'm like, it's fucking awesome.
What is cool,
Look at
though,
all
is they
this
do
stuff.
touch on like a lot of things that, for it to be in 1977, they touch on a lot of things that wasn't as... Well, I didn't grow up in 1977, so I wouldn't really fucking know. But my
So
guess...
quit talking out of your ass.
Well, my guess would be a lot of these things weren't as mainstream. Like, one, UFOs. And all the other little things like cow mutilations and just abductions. All these things I just don't think were as mainstream. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone from 1977 can let me know if...
Mom?
Yeah, Mom? Comment, Mom. I need your help. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I like the fact that they also touched on certain conspiracies too. So there's a conspiracy. It's called Project Philadelphia that the Navy held back in like the fucking 40s or something like that, where they were working on like certain radar technology to where they wouldn't be able to be seen, and they ended up being like teleported. Or what they were also trying to do was not just go off of radars. They were trying to become like invisible. They were trying to have like an invisible cloaking fucking shit. And they like completely disappeared for like a second apparently and came back. And like the majority of the crewmates were like interlocked in the metal on the ship. The ship came back and like the ship was kind of fucked up too. And like people were just deformed and like mutated with the metal and like all this weird shit apparently, and it's a big conspiracy, but who knows if it was like actually happened. But the reason why I bring it up is because they actually touch on shit like this in the film, you know, and this film's from 1977, so it's pretty cool to see that Steven Spielberg did a lot of, I guess, research into conspiracies and things that I think might not have been as mainstream then, to kind of all showcase it in one film, which to me is a conspiracy nut found
for sure.
pretty intriguing for that time.
For sure. And dude, like, I'm not knocking Spielberg. Like, Spielberg, I'm sure, worked his ass off, did his job, made a fuckload of money doing it. And in 1977, I'm sure it was the coolest thing that ever came out. And people were like, this is fucking sick. Wasn't for me as far as like a script and overall movie goes, and then just like wasn't. It's too that like none of the stuff was cool. Like I didn't see anything in this movie where I was like, oh, I've never seen anything like that before.
I feel that, yeah. I feel that. Answer me this.
Riddle me this.
Riddle me this. If the aliens, like if there was just like a very explicit scene.
10 out of 10. I know exactly where you're going. 10 out of 10.
Like they really soaked up like the aliens just full on taking advantage of like Barry on the ship or like
you gotta make it the kid. Barry's a child, Braden.
Whoa, no. I meant
Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
I don't know the character name. I
thought it was Barry too.
Barry, no. You gave this movie a 7.3, and you think they named a child and the main character both Barry?
Because there was a
they're like can't think of two names.
Bro,
we're going double Barry.
Well, because they ended up calling him Roy or something like that, isn't it? Roy? Yeah.
So that's his name.
Yeah.
That's
but
Richard
there was
Dreyfuss's
a point
name.
in like the beginning where I don't know if I just misunderstood. I had to have, but someone kept saying to him Barry. Maybe it was the girl thought it was talking to the kid. I don't know. But someone like was talking to him and kept saying like Barry, and I was like, his name's Barry too? What the fuck? I must have misunderstood.
I don't think
something.
that happened.
Something like that happened because I was like, because I replayed it and I was like, what the fuck? And I can't remember exactly what part of what scene, but I had to replay it because I'm like, are they calling him Barry? And it was like someone's directing Barry.
Ain't nobody called Richard Dreyfuss Barry. Not once,
Right,
not never. Let's hear. I bet you they won an Oscar. So let's hear these fucking nonsense awards.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah. But you know what? Like, If it's Oscar, if they won like Best Picture, that's probably absurd. But like if they like fucking like graphic like arts awards, the score was pretty fantastic.
The score was pretty good.
Yeah, like if they win it for shit like that, they should.
So they got 15 wins and 39 nominations. I'll try to go through the wins pretty quick.
Yeah.
So they won Academy Award for Best Cinematography. They won they won an award for sound effects editing.
Is it the Academy Awards?
Yeah, Academy Awards. So those two for that.
That's it for Oscars, or are there more?
For Academy, that was it for Academy. Then they won for the BAFTA Awards, Best Production Design, Art Direction. Let's see. They won an Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films. Best Director, Steven Spielberg. Best Music, John Williams.
So let's just this sucks. This is taking long. Find the cool ones, Braden.
Damn
we
it.
did. They won some Oscars. Had to acknowledge those for sure.
Yeah.
Find a cool one. Razzle Dazzle or Chainsaw or
Best Score, Grammy Awards. That's
Grammy.
not really,
There we go. That's
yeah,
big.
It's not, yeah. International. No, fuck that. Okay, they won the Korean Associate for Best Foreign Film. I don't know.
So I guess no. It was a festival in Korea.
Yeah.
It was a U.S. film, so it's a foreign film to them.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, just like a bunch of wins for sound effects. Like there was probably 4 other wins so far that were for sound effects. Let me see another really cool one. Let's see. There isn't.
There isn't.
There isn't really a cool one.
All right.
Yeah. So they won other cool. You know,
it was a lot of like it was a cool movie.
Sound effects,
1970. So like guys, if this movie came out today, you'd be like, that's fucking. Why did people make this movie? But why did it cost them $20 million? What is that all about?
Oh, come on.
But in 1970, I'm sure it was like groundbreaking. Like, oh my god, look how realistic everything is. This is crazy. The oven's just turning on by itself and bouncing around. Like I'm sure it was awesome back then.
Yeah.
I'm a spoiled, privileged white boy in America who has gone to movie theaters and seen cooler things.
Listen, bro, I get it, bro. Avengers Endgame has just like raised the bar too high. All right? I get it. You know what's funny is that the amount of money
Am I going to laugh at this?
Not really. It's not really funny. But
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more interesting, David. The amount of money they made off this film is almost the budget for Endgame. Endgame was like $350. They ended up making like $306 or something like that. So
306.1.
Yeah, so Endgame cost more to make than this movie made.
Yeah, but Endgame also made $5 billion.
Yeah, they made Endgame made back their entire budget in opening weekend. They made like almost $400 million in like the opening weekend.
Also, I've come across people in my life who think when I say nonsense things that I'm serious, and they like question me on it. I don't think the Avengers made $5 billion.
I think they
made a lot of money.
I think they made like almost $2 billion or some shit.
Yeah.
Because Avatar was like 1 point something.
But like $5 billion, like that would have been ridiculous, and someone would have been like, "You really? There's no way they made $5 billion." But yeah, I know,
I get it.
I see a lot of nonsense.
That's what we say a lot of nonsense here. At the
I didn't have a boner when the kids were on the screen during Foxcatcher either. You gonna ask me about that one? Like
neither did I. A little bit ago,
Braden did. All right, we starting this movie.
I think so, David.
All right, we open up. We're in the Sonora Desert in Mexico. Braden, most of the scene, I was lost. So if you want to jump in at one point and clear anything up, that's great. I'm going to kind of go through it.
Yeah, I got you.
Lots of speaking in English and Spanish and in French. There's a French guy who it's like a big deal that he's there. People are like, oh, this is the guy. It's the French guy.
Yeah.
And there's like, they say, where's the translator? And then the guy, Russell, he's on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
He's Russell from NBC on Seinfeld.
Look at that.
Yeah. Russell, he's like, I'm the translator, but I also used to work with maps. but I can speak French, so I translate that. And you're just like, I want this guy off the screen.
Yeah.
I love this work in Seinfeld. He needs to be gone. He's
Yeah.
like, I work with maps, though. And I'm like, cool.
So, but, so one guy walks up to him and he's like, how long have you been working on this project? And he says, I've been with the American, but they're saying this in like French or some shit. So it's like, it shows in like translation. So he says, I've been with the American team from the beginning. And then he says, in fact, I saw you at the Montessori conference, which ended well, especially for you, especially for the French, if it isn't too late for my congratulations. Basically what they're getting to is the fact that this guy has seen this scientist and they've worked together on like past fucking projects dealing with like random conspiracy alien kind of bullshit is like the whole point. Then some like random dude runs up that's like, I think part of like the army. There's some army there from the...
This guy's like, they're here.
Yeah, they're here. They're over here. You got to come see them or whatever. So then they run over there, and what they run up on is a bunch of basically planes from
It's World War II planes.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, these planes been missing for
30
years.
years, yeah.
And Russell's like, they look brand new. And they did. They looked like brand new planes.
Yeah, so they were checking the engines. The engines were almost like full or like half full for like all of them. They all still operated and worked, but all of the pilots were missing. And then the interpreter's like, what the hell's going on here? Where's the pilots? Why are they missing? The guy's like, dude, they've fucking been gone. These planes been missing for 30 fucking years. And now they're finding them in this random desert in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. So it's something dealing with fucking like time travel or something. They don't understand what's going on.
And they're going through all the planes and finding like family photos of the people, and like they have the information of the people who were piloting each plane.
Yeah.
Like they're pulling shit out and like reading through it. It has like his name, Sergeant whatever.
Yeah.
U.S. Navy, all that stuff. They then bring Russell and the French guy over to a fucking crazy looking guy. He's speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
The Spanish translator is translating it to English to Russell, who's translating it into French for the French guy. Yeah. And this guy, he does not look like someone that you would go approach and be like, oh, let's get some information out of him. And he says, the sun came out last night and it sang to me. He says in Spanish, it gets translated twice.
Yeah, and he just seems like he is like, whacked out of his mind, basically.
Yeah. Out of his mind, they would not have approached that guy. That guy would have been saying some crazy shit, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, sir.
That's exactly what I thought, David, but I guess I was thinking the only reason why maybe they would is because they're in the middle of the fucking desert and there's only like a couple people here. And if he was like one of the only people that was here last night to see these planes show up, then maybe they'd be like, all right, we need to fucking interrogate this dude.
You don't listen to a fucking word the guy said. Unless, so like, Russell and the French guy have to kind of know what's going on at this point.
Let me say really quick, too,
really quick, all right?
Yeah, one of the main scientists, he comes up. Dave, I'm going to say it fast. My cadence is going to be quick.
Start fucking like,
He comes up. Before the dude is even saying anything, the guy is like looking at his face and checking him out. And he's seeing that he's super sunburnt and like his skin, his hair and his skin are almost like burnt. And that's what he's noticing. And you kind of get a glimpse of that.
But you know what? If I came across some dude out in the desert and he didn't look like that, I'd be like, "Oh wow, you look way better than I expected."
David, that's exactly what I thought too when I saw him. Like, yeah, you look sunburned.
Guy lives in the desert, doesn't look like he has a home.
No,
he looks like the desert is his home. I'd be like, "Yeah, that's what you look like."
Whatever bench he was sitting on is where he sleeps.
Yeah, that's where he's made his life.
Yeah.
Now we're in like it seems like an air traffic control center.
Yep.
Right?
That's exactly
where
what
they go there. Okay. And there's these planes there. They're like, oh, there's a fucking. It's way above us. It's got these bright lights and it's moving quickly.
And let me say too, this is one reason why I actually do like this film for some of the little things. I felt like they do like. Yeah, there's a lot of scenes they could have cut out and made shorter, but like even a scene like this that they kind of soaked up on a little bit for just what they're trying to get by, which is like a close encounter with a UFO. They did it so professionally. Like the whole thing just looks very well done. Like you really think you're in this control room and all the actors are doing fantastic.
I'd like to think people didn't talk over each other as much. in an air traffic control room. But
You are right.
But that felt realistic.
Yeah. Well,
Felt like humans.
yeah. So the guy is talking to the pilots, and the pilots are like, "Hey, we got this weird looking object. It's got a weird shine to it, and it's approaching us, and it's coming directly at us. What should we do?" Kind of like, and the guy's like, "We don't have anything on that aircraft," and saying a lot of terminology and things like very quickly. And
the guy was also like, "We have an aircraft. The closest aircraft we see on the radar is however many miles below you."
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, this is above us."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So then some of the other people in the control room here, and they start to like come over and like crowd around him, and the pilots, just to sum it up really quick, they're like, "Oh fuck, it's coming right at us," and this UFO basically flies right by them, barely missing them, probably just toying with them, but like increases speed and just like shoots right by them, way faster than they can think. And the control center guy was like, "Hey, do you want to report a UFO?" And this pissed me off.
This guy's like, "Nah, I'm not reporting that shit."
There's like 4 people in the control pit or wherever in the airplane, and they're all like, they cut to every single one of them. They're like, "Nope, not going to report a UFO here."
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what the fuck for what?
Because people are going to think you're fucking crazy. You're like,
That's
I was
bullshit.
up. Dude, then like later when they're all at the fucking table talking, like that confirms it.
What?
When the fucking police guy's making everyone look like a fucking child the way he's talking to him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I saw a UFO and be like, "Yeah, sure you did, bud."
Yeah, no, yeah.
And I saw Santa Claus. Like that's how that goes.
Yeah, all right, so I don't want to, obviously, David, I picked this movie just to talk about my own encounters with UFOs, which is, that's the reason I picked this film. No,
There
it's
we go.
because I like aliens, but I have seen UFOs, and if I
So
was
later
in-
on, this kid is
and if I was in that scenario, bro, I would be pissed off, bro. If my life was almost just put in jeopardy too by like a UFO, and then we're gonna act like it didn't exist, and then on top of that, to get ridiculed by the people that probably work with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'd be a little upset, David. All right, let's move on.
So later on, this kid's in his bed, and he has one of those monkeys where it has the two. The percussions.
Yeah.
And the monkey just in the middle of the night just starts going. Like, it's like a wind it up and it bashes the things together. It just starts doing it on its own. And then all of his other toys. What blew my mind is this kid had so many toys that were like...
Electronic.
Yeah.
For 1970.
Yeah, like all of his toys. His room was going bananas. All of his toys were doing shit.
I was like, damn.
Kid gets up and goes downstairs. There's food just all over the place. Like the fridge is open, food's all over the place.
The front door is like banging, and
everything in the house is going wild.
Yeah, and then so he walks into the kitchen, and we get this shot that shows as if something is leaving the kitchen, and the food is dragging with it, and it leaves through the dog hole. The little, is that what you call it? Dog hole?
Doggy door.
Doggy door. Yeah, and then he comes.
The kid's smiling.
As if he's
but
looking at it, and then we hear like a weird alien noise.
just a noise.
No, it was like
We don't know it's alien. I know an alien when I hear it.
Well, it definitely wasn't like a. It was a growl. It was like something weird as fuck. Yeah.
Not necessarily an alien.
Was it a cat?
Could have been a grizzly bear. Could have been a Sasquatch, but
Fitting through the dog.
So the mom wakes up and looks out the window, and the kid's running outside. And the mom
did not like this. Yeah.
The mom aggressively underreacts to this.
Exactly.
She just goes, "Barry,
What are you doing?
and then like he looks and laughs and keeps running. And then she goes, "Barry," and that's where it ends.
Yeah.
So later we see mom looking for Barry, but like she does not have the appropriate amount of, "Hey, what the get back in the fucking house." Barry's 3 years old.
He's 3 years old.
He's
Can't fucking speak.
He's a fucking child.
She's also woken up by his toys. The toys fucking drive into her room. I don't know if her windows were supposed to be open, but her windows were open, and she kind of almost reacted at first like they were supposed to be closed, because she went up to close it, and that's when she saw Barry. And yeah, again, like, why are you so... So she lives out in like almost like a farmland kind of thing, where it's like bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah, they don't have a neighbor.
Yeah, like you are in bumfuck nowhere. If your kid is outside and is basically leaving the last bit of light from your home, you better run outside and go grab your fucking child.
Yeah, Barry.
Yeah.
Barry!
What are you doing?
And then we cut to Richard Dreyfuss. Many of you may know him from Jaws.
Yeah.
This
is like Steven's best friend or something.
They loves it. Dude, one of the kids is Richard Dreyfuss's nephew, too.
It's all who you know.
It's just, that's all it is. It's all about who you know in Hollywood. That's Hollywood, baby.
Because like South Park, they nailed it with Steven Spielberg. I'm sure Steven was just fucking Richard. Just fucking, yeah, you're going to be in my next fucking film too, bitch.
South Park never did that, you psycho.
He didn't do it to Richard. He did it to...
He and George Lucas raped Indiana. Yeah, but it wasn't like...
And George Lucas was his bitch, basically.
Yeah, but they weren't saying that they raped actors. They were saying they ruined Indiana Jones with the new movie.
No,
and it was like they were raping
It was a metaphor. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, not that they rape actors and make them be in their movies.
I'm just trying to say, like, maybe they were onto something because, I mean, you think it's coincidence that he's just picking Richard Dreyfuss for
Richard Dreyfuss wanted to make millions of dollars for doing Steven Spielberg
being
movies?
outrageous. I know, David.
Yeah, but you got to be clever with it. You can't just piece together two things that don't
It'd be
really
great
go.
if Steven was listening and was just like,
Steven, are you kidding me? Steven Spielberg's listening.
Yeah.
He can't be. He's like, fucking David Breen, that ass. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, you don't even
know.
know.
Give my movie a 2.
Don't even know.
So we're at Richard Dreyfuss's home. He's got a bunch of kids and a wife. He's playing with a model.
Dude,
he's got a model train, and they're watching the 10 Commandments on
This
TV.
house made no sense to me. His entire wall, they're like in the kitchen or something. I don't even know. But yeah, there's like a whole train set. The wall was like filled with tools. And the whole, like, the kid's just, he has there's one kid in a crib, and he's got a doll, and he's just whacking it the entire scene against the crib.
They're crazy kids. The kids are out of their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, to the T,
they're
ADHD.
wild, yeah.
The kid never stopped, never took a beat to trying to break his toy against his own crib.
Yeah.
This kid's like 10, too, or like 8 or some shit. Like, he definitely didn't look 3, like Barry.
Older than Barry, but not 10.
6,
Yeah,
7.
Ted's old.
Yeah.
The house just a nightmare. The kid's like, we're staying up and watching all the 10 Commandments. I was like, it's 4 hours long. No, you're not. We're going to bed. Phone rings. The wife answers. She's like, it's Earl Roy. Get on the phone. Richard Dreyfuss gets on the phone, and Earl's like, hey, we need you at the Gilmore substation. Everyone's losing power. We need to get you down here.
He says the grid's going out.
Grid's going out, yeah.
And then right as he says that, Barry kind of like makes a reaction, and then his power goes out.
Nope.
Yeah, because
his name is not Barry.
No, I know, Roy. My bad. Yeah, Roy.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Or Roy.
Yeah. Let's call him Richard Dreyfuss.
I don't write Roy once in this thing.
Good. Yeah, so then Richard just like makes a reaction. All the lights go out, and then we get like, which I actually did really this is another thing I liked, like a little thing I actually enjoyed about this film. There was a lot of good shots, like big, wide shots that they showed a lot of times that were pretty grand kind of shots that I really liked.
They're showing all the lights going out, like
through
they
through the whole
over,
nation, neighborhoods, and then to the nation and everything,
and you could see in the last one that they show, it's like a whole neighborhood goes out, and you can see a little red aircraft like over in the distance flying by.
Yeah.
So it's UFOs flying through. All the lights are going out when the UFO passes through.
Yeah.
Now we're at the Gilmore substation.
Oh.
What a substation it is, guys.
Yep.
Richard Dreyfuss, they're talking about like the trouble areas where people need to go to try and get shit back up. Richard Dreyfuss knows one of the areas. So this guy's like, all right, good. You're in. Get out there. You're promoted. And he's like, really? He's like, what about the boss? Like, the boss is stuck in the elevator. I'm in charge. Head out and do it. So he's like, all right, cool. So he leaves.
So, and we also know where this ADHD for the kid comes from, because he's driving and he stops in the middle of the road to look at his map. And then like almost gets in a car accident because some guy drives around. He's like, dude, you fucking stopped in the middle of the fucking road. What are you doing?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, no, sorry.
No, he was like,
it's like, no. So he does that initially, and then he
yeah.
goes, do you know where cornbread or cornfield, whatever he has for?
Yeah.
He asks about like where the street he's trying to find.
Yeah,
Like, well, while you're here, and the guy just drives off.
Yeah, and then he calls him a turkey or some shit.
Oh my God, he calls him a turkey.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
absolutely calls him a turkey.
Yeah.
During this, Barry's mom is not running very fast through the woods, but she's going through the
she's
woods.
like in the middle of the fucking woods.
She's in the woods going, Barry! Barry!
At this point, I would be losing my mind if I'm a quarter mile or more from my place in the middle of the woods looking for my 3-year-old child.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
Kid's probably dead.
Yeah.
Now he's stopped at a railroad and there's no train. He's just stopped there.
Yeah.
And he's looking at the map. Vehicle pulls up behind him. He waves it around. Instead of going around, it goes over him.
Yeah, so these lights just basically go up and hover like right over him. And he's still looking at his map. And then he gets like he notices that right to his left there's like an entire line of mailboxes that are all kind of like connected, and they just start shaking uncontrollably to the point to where he just notices, he's like, what the fuck is going on? And then there's like a railroad sign right next to him that's also starting to shake uncontrollably, and then they all they just stop, and then a giant light just shines down on him, and he starts freaking out.
When that light shines down on him, the radio, his car, and the flashlight he has, they all go out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's freaking out. Everything's off. There's a big light on him.
And then the things in his car, they start to freak the fuck out and just start, like, things that aren't even metal or electronic are just moving around, flying, exploding, like, weird shit is happening. Like, his glove box or whatever just, like, fucking, like, something, like, bursted out of it. It was weird. A lot of weird shit was happening.
And then the light goes away and everything stops. And he looks out, and there's just a UFO just slowly drifting away.
Yeah, so it's like all black, and all you see, and this is like another really cool shot, where you see all the stars behind it, because they're out in the middle of nowhere, and all of the power is out in the town to where all you would see is stars. And you just see this thing. You can slightly give the detail of like the UFO because it's so dark, but you see it basically like taking out the stars too. And then it just keeps going a little bit further down the street, shines another light down onto the street, and then it just makes a big flash, and it just like zooms off. But you barely see it zoom off. It just like flashes, and it's like gone.
Then Richard Dreyfuss's flashlight comes on, and it scares him.
Yeah, which is a great beat. There was like a pause, and then he turned his flashlight on. Did he turn it on?
It turned on by itself because the UFO shut it off. So then it turned on, so it scared him.
He left. Once the UFO left. Yeah.
And then his car turns on, the radio comes on, and he doesn't. The radio's going crazy. They're like, you guys seeing this? We got to know, blah, 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 blah. And he picks up the thing and then doesn't call it in, puts it down, and follows the UFO.
Yeah, and I'm like, why is no one down to, call this shit in? And then I'm like, I've never actually called a UFO in myself. So.
Yeah, so there you go.
But I don't have a walkie that's like, hey, did anyone else see the UFO?
Do you know why you've never called one in?
Because I got trust issues, bro.
No?
Because
you've never fucking seen one, Braid.
Oh, God damn it, David.
Now, Barry is running in the middle of a road.
Piece of shit.
Just like middle of the road running, not safe.
Yeah.
3-year-old, and comes across some weird-looking folks.
Yeah.
It's an older dude who's whistling a song, and some like older kids who are older fat kids, like really fat, creepy-looking teenagers, and they all just kind of smile and look at Barry. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, this movie's about to get so dark.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck did Braden pick? This is crazy. Like,
what is about to happen to Barry?
This poor kid.
So you think like the family's about to abduct Barry or some crazy shit. That's what you're thinking. And then Dreyfuss comes fucking flying around this corner. So we're kind of like on a mountain street. Like, it's actually paved roads, but it's on a mountain kind of thing. It's like
comes flying around the corner and just runs over Barry.
Yeah.
Kid's dead, blood everywhere, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And then what happened? No. So it looks like he's about to hit Barry. He swerves, and like as he swerves, Mom comes over and grabs Barry and dives off to the side.
Yeah. And then like Roy, he comes to a stop, and he gets out the car, and Richard runs up to the mom and was like, what the fuck?
No.
It was something like that.
No, he's like, I'm so sorry. Are you guys okay?
No, but then there was something else where he
At no point was he mean or aggressive towards the
because
mom
he
or the kid.
apologizes later for the way he acted towards them.
No,
I swear.
he apologized for almost hitting them. He did not say what the fuck. He said, "Oh my god."
He didn't say what the fuck.
He
but
said, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Are you guys okay?"
No, but then he said something else like why?
Pause the podcast. We're pulling this movie up.
Yeah, so I was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking nothing about Richard Dreyfuss's character made it seem like he would have yelled at the mom and the kid.
I didn't really think
about
like
this.
yell. I thought after saying sorry, he was like, "Why'd you let your son run into the?" I thought he said something like that, but I was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's over there. He's checking on them,
And then once again, she just lets her fucking
Barry,
son run into the street.
Barry just runs back in the street. Bob's like, "Oh,
This
Barry!"
mom can't keep a fucking hold of her child to save her fucking life.
He's like, come on, Barry. And as Barry's out in the middle of the road, 4 UFOs fly overhead,
Yeah.
and then the cops are in hot pursuit.
Yeah.
Cops are in hot pursuit. Dreyfuss no longer cares about Barry and the mom. He hops in his truck. He's like,
Oh, dude, I'm
following the UFOs.
Yeah.
So Dreyfuss and the cops are following the UFOs. They blow through a toll station. Dreyfuss and the cops then also blow through it. And the guy running it.
I didn't like. Oh, you're probably gonna say it.
The guy running it comes out. He's like, "Hey, that's Ohio. It's a quarter."
This is one of the parts of the movie I hated the most because the aliens, the UFOs, they open up the barriers, the gates, or whatever to what is it called? A fucking
Like a toll station.
Toll station,
Toll
yeah.
booth station.
But it's because you're crossing like state lines or something, right? Was it about that?
People know what a toll booth is.
Yeah, but
what don't you like?
Well, the fact that the UFOs are like, oh, we need to go through the toll station, so we need to open up like the fucking gates instead of just flying over them. First off, it's just so stupid. And then on top of that, it's like this dude is going to stop a bunch of police cars. He's going to be like, no, stop. He literally was like trying to stop the cops and was like, you can't stop. You need to pay a fucking quarter.
Yeah, dude wants his quarter. Dude, that's like 20 cars. That's $5.
These are
20
cop cars in hot pursuit.
Those are people. They're people, and they owe him a fucking quarter. If you're going to go into Ohio, you're giving him that quarter.
Yeah, and they acted as if like he didn't see the UFOs that just flew right by him.
He didn't. He fucking didn't. So they're following them, and one cop dies because he drives his car just off a cliff.
Yeah,
that doesn't get
too.
acknowledged, but he's dead as fuck.
Yeah, like literally drove off a mountain.
Yeah, and then Dreyfuss and the rest of the cops, they stop where that crash happened, and they watch the UFOs off in the distance. And Dreyfuss is like, whoa.
I gotta say something too. So there's 4 UFOs, but there's one red orb light at the end, and I've seen.
And that's identified?
What do you mean? Yeah.
So that's an identified flying object. It's an IFO. There's 5 fucking UFOs. One of them's a red orb.
Yeah.
Still a UFO, Braden.
Yeah, but it's it's not really a physical dimensional fucking thing. You know, it's a light. It's a floating light.
It's unidentified.
Yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
Flying.
Yeah.
It's a UF.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I enjoyed the fact that Steven Spielberg threw that in there because that's like legit. Like I've seen many UFO orb lights just like that with multiple people, not just by myself, David, that I can fucking call on to fucking tell you that you're fuck you, David. I see you you're just trying to judge me.
Dude, so we're 10 minutes into this movie?
No, we're not. We're way farther than 10 minutes.
We're maybe 20 minutes into this movie.
We're farther than that.
But we're not farther than 20 minutes, I don't think. Not by much, if we are. Not by much.
30.
I don't believe you. But
no, easily 30, actually.
We're over an hour into this podcast. And I feel like you just wanted to be like, I've seen, like, every time a UFO, you're like, well, I've seen this too.
No, David.
I saw this thing in other people. Ask my dad. He saw it.
Which is why I brought this up in the beginning, because I knew David
psycho.
was going to try and turn this around like that anytime I brought up something like that. No, David, it's a legit thing. I know you haven't seen any UFOs, but for Steven, yeah, I have. I've seen fuck you, David. Yeah, I have. And I've seen it with multiple people that I can call on that you know. Yeah, you know them, David. Oh, actually, one of our fellow kings, Hoff, actually saw a light.
Oh, Hoff?
Yeah.
That's gonna be that's your fucking witness?
One of them for one
Hoff,
of the times.
have you had a conversation with that dude? He's out of his fucking mind.
Fuck you, David. No, but the reason
Come
why
on,
I'm saying...
dude, there was no person that you would have said right there where I would have been like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Let's move forward with the podcast.
But for sure. But I just want to say that it's wild.
You're lying
to know.
about seeing UFOs.
No.
That's
I'm just
what
saying.
you wanted to get honest with the listeners.
I'm just saying Steven fucking knows his shit, because for him to throw that in there, other than just an actual physical third dimensional fucking spaceship, is he knows his shit. That's why I'm saying that. So
now Richard Dreyfuss is home. It's 4 a.m. He's freaking out. He's waking the whole family up. He's like, you guys gotta come see this fucking thing I saw. Half his face is sunburnt. And his wife's like, what the hell happened to you?
yeah,
Like what the fuck? Half of your face sunburnt. And he's like, I don't know.
I don't
Let's
give a
go.
shit. Let's
go.
go.
Let's
Yeah.
get. And she's like, what about the kids? He's like, who? She goes, the kids. He's like, yeah, no, I'll get them. Yeah. You're right. Let's bring them too. Mrs. Harris next door wakes up and she's looking out and she's like, oh, there's Mrs. Harris. Hey, Mrs. Harris. She's going on a family trip.
in the middle of the night.
He gets them all in the truck and brings them to where he saw the UFOs. And obviously they're not there.
Yep.
He's bringing them and they're like, whoa, look at that. Wife handles it exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where she says, don't you think I'm handling this well? And she starts like hugging up on him and kissing him.
And they start making out.
Remember when we used to come to a place like this, just the two of us? I was like, you know what? She's a trooper. I was like, because that is fun. He just woke you and the kids up at 4 a.m, brought you to the side of the road and said, I saw some aliens here last night. And there's nothing there. And you're like, this is fucking crazy. Good on her. She's a trooper. She handled that very well.
But I feel like they made it seem as if they were going to have sex, like right on the side of the road with like
They
the kids
did.
in the car.
They did. You didn't watch the extended cut, did you?
No, I didn't.
Extended cut, they show full penetration.
Really?
Yeah, it's graphic.
Abducted? Fuck.
It's graphic. The next day, the wife is up at the kitchen table and she's cutting anything about UFOs out of the newspaper. In case he reads it and he reads newspapers like, hey, why are big sections cut out? Like what was this all about? Like it won't get brought up. She's just cutting them out.
Yeah, right? Like,
Richard Dreyfuss is brushing his teeth and the kids smack his ass while he's doing it.
yeah.
And he turns around and goes, "Argh!"
Bunch of family fun.
The kids are trying to ask him about the UFOs, and he starts to answer, and she's like, nope, not real, not happening. She's like, what are you doing? Like, you scared the kids last night by waking us all up. At this point, you have to agree she's in the right.
Yeah.
Like, she woke them up at 4 to go. She's like, you're going crazy. You're going to scare the kids the more you talk about this stuff. You got to stop.
Yeah. That's how I feel talking to you, David, about my UFO encounters.
You're always scaring me with it, man. You're scaring me. I have a delusional friend that I do a podcast with. It's scary. It's unsustainable. They disagree over whether or not he's going back out that night. He's like, I'm going back out. She's like, no, you're not. He's like, I'm fucking going back out. I gotta see those
They
things.
go back and forth for like a minute.
And then the phone rings. The wife answers it, and she's like, no, but Richard Dreyfuss is over here. Let me get him. Like, stop yelling at me. And then the thing ends, and she's like, Richard, you're fired. They wouldn't even talk to you. They just yelled at me on the phone and told me you're fired. And I'm not getting a job. I hope you know that, which is crazy. He doesn't really acknowledge it. He's just laying on the bed and looks at one of the pillows, and it's like up vertical. And he just goes, that's not right.
So obviously you get the,
He's losing his fucking mind.
yeah, he's starting to lose his mind, and obviously he's like seeing certain things, and then we cut back to the desert, right?
We go to where where Richard Dreyfuss almost ran Barry over.
Oh, the next night.
It's that night, yeah. And there's a bunch of people there on the road where they
now
saw
everyone's expecting to see it.
Barry's mom goes up to Richard Dreyfuss, and again he apologizes and asks how Barry is.
Yeah, and one cool thing she also says too is like they both have sunburn on perfectly on one side of their body.
she kind of like, she doesn't pull her tits out, but she does like, oh, I'm sunburnt too, look. And like kind of like
shows her
accentuates
like
her chest cleavage area. And I'm like, oh, Barry's mom's a little slut.
And I kept thinking,
like, check out my sunburn.
I kept thinking the whole
Richard
time that
Dreyfuss.
they were just going to, you know, abduct and fuck. Did you not get that? That vibe?
The Richard Dreyfuss abducted and fucked in this scenario makes me think that Richard Dreyfuss was going to kidnap and rape her.
Yeah.
So
I don't
no,
really, yeah.
at no point did I think that was going to happen. But he asks how Barry is, and she walks up. There's a weird mustache guy just taking pictures of Barry playing in the dirt. And she's just kind of like, hey, could you not do that?
Yeah.
And the guy just like, yeah, no problem, and leaves.
Like, there was
What
a lot
the fuck was that?
Yeah, dude, there's so many. Yeah.
She's like, hey, he's a little young. Don't take pictures of him. And the guy's just like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Like, that was the end of it.
And, like, he still has those pictures, you know? Like,
Barry's playing in the dirt, and he's making the dirt into the shape that Richard Dreyfuss keeps seeing, and he's like, whoa, that's that shape.
yeah, he, like, comes up and, like, lays down next to him and he's like, oh, wow. Good shit.
Then something's coming from the distance, and
You see two lights, and some person's like, from the northwest.
yeah, you're made to think it's a UFO. Turns out it's a helicopter.
Two helicopters come up, and they just
Is
start...
it news helicopters?
I don't think
so.
so.
Look at all these dumb fucking people.
I don't think they were news helicopters. I think they were, like, maybe police helicopters, something, like, trying to break it up, because there's all these people standing on a road.
Being like, hey, and it's on like it's a highway on a mountain, and it's like around a bend.
Yeah,
where
which
like
is
someone's
super
just gonna be
unsafe.
coming around the bend, and all of a sudden there's 40 people.
Yeah.
Like there's old people like playing cards at a table in the
regardless
middle
if
of
that's
it.
exactly where the UFOs went.
There are old people like playing cards. They have a table set up in the middle of the road.
yeah.
Old people playing cards.
Literally, yeah, on a fucking fold-out table in the middle of the road, and it's like, yeah, the UFOs went by right there, but like, there's probably so many other places that you could pull off on the side of the road that is around there that makes sense rather than like literally in the.
Yeah,
it's the most unsafe place you could ever be on a road.
Yeah,
high up on a mountain with a fucking drop off right to the side, roundabout fucking tight turn.
Yeah, so the helicopters show up, and that's the end of that scene.
They break it up, yeah.
We go to India. The Russell and the French guy show up, and there's a bunch of like kids are going crazy, like running up to the car when they pull up, and they walk through it.
And they're playing like a certain song, right?
Yeah. Do you? I forget the beat of this song if you remember it.
Oh no, I'm. It's just like, it's kind of like, oh, they're basically just going on different. Like it's like almost the same.
So we're gonna pause this because the song's very important to the movie.
No, yeah, but it's yeah. All right.
Let's hear it, Braden.
Aria, aria.
So that's what they're singing in India. That song becomes important.
So there's like hundreds of people in India that are just singing this as if it's like almost a religious festival thing. Like, so yeah, it sounds really cool when you hear all these people singing it. And then so
Russell and the French guy are like, where'd you guys hear the noise coming from? And then the guy who's leading the song goes, where'd you hear it from? They all just point to the sky.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool shot and moment because there's like hundreds of hands that just point up and
just point up like, we heard it from the sky, man.
Yeah, and they're just like, whoa, fuck, okay.
So then we cut to, it's a huge arena, like where basketball teams would play. And there's like 40 people in there.
Yeah.
And the French guy's up on the stage, and he's talking about, they're playing the people singing in India, like they're playing those tunes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about how deaf people sign language can teach deaf people to sing.
Yeah.
Is there something more important here that I missed?
I think what they're really getting to is that that they're figuring out that the aliens are trying to communicate through music and through like certain sounds, and that they're making like notes of just like, I guess just going over it, like the dude going up on the podium, I think is just trying to explain how this phenomenon is from like the noises we're hearing from the sky is from like UFOs trying to communicate through certain tones and music. That's what I got from it.
Why get an arena? And if you're going to get an arena, why not have more extras? Because they had 1 billion people in India a second ago.
Well, that was because it was just for the government officials and stuff like that. It was just for like the scientists and the government officials because they all got handed.
For me personally, have that in like a conference room.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. Cut it in half. Have it be like 20 people.
Yeah.
And do it in like a boardroom.
So another reason why I know it is that is because they handed out little booklets that all said like the Pentagon on it or some fucking shit.
Yeah. Do it in a smaller.
Yeah, I agree with that.
space.
Yeah, and it would get that narrative by better too if you're in an actual office, kind of like be at the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, we're at some science place.
Oh, you know why? I think it's the United Nations. Because there was a part where the United Nations actually drive up in the desert and they're United Nation flags. I looked at it.
Yeah, but it looks like a basketball arena.
Yeah, you're right for that scene. You're right.
Yeah.
But I just think maybe that's why they're not at like the Pentagon, because maybe it's like the United Nations trying to handle it instead or something.
Make it look like the UN.
I feel that.
Made
No.
$306.1 million off this, Steven. You could have made a little bit less of a profit. And
I'm sure you could probably gone to the UN and shot a scene there really quick.
they love Spielberg at the UN. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They don't. They never stop talking about that guy.
It'd be great if the United Nations like, dude, no, this is
We're James Cameron supporters, Mr. Spielberg.
yeah, or that.
You get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that would actually, yeah, that was better than what I was thinking.
So we're at some science place, and they're talking about these rapid pulses they're getting on like a radar.
They're getting signals in, and they get the interpreted over. And this also kind of got me a little upset because you have a bunch of like NASA scientists who read signals, who are specifically trained to read signals. That's their job.
Don't call him the interpreter.
That's what he's. So what are we calling him? That's what
Russell.
Okay.
Yeah. Russell from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Russell from NBC.
Okay, Russell from NBC. He's looking at the signal because they get numbers from the signals, and he says the first set of numbers from the signal.
Nope. What does he do before he says this though?
Oh, I'm not sure.
He says that before I was a French interpreter.
Yep.
I read maps.
That is
a direct quote. Guys, before I was a French interpreter, I read maps.
Yeah, I was going to say that after.
Earlier he said whatever like his actual title was, and it's someone who like it sounded official, like someone who fucks with maps.
Topography or something.
Sure, whatever it was.
Topography.
But he's like, before I read maps, and this is a coordinate.
Yeah, he's like the first set of numbers from this signal, they're coordinates. And to me, I'm like, and he says it because coordinates, there's specific things to where it's like at this set of numbers, they're under like a certain number to where it's like it has to be coordinates because of that.
Everyone starts freaking out. We're like, oh, well, how are we going to find out where those coordinates are? And they're like, oh, that room has a globe in it. And like they run over.
That's another thing that pissed me off.
They start like ripping the globes like in the ground. They start ripping it out. And one guy goes, hey, that's a $2,500 globe. What are you guys doing?
And just fucking.
And they rip it and they roll it down the hallway and they find the coordinates.
Which is so silly to me because I'm like, Mr. fucking, what's his name again?
Russell from NBC.
Russell from NBC, who is into topography and maps and shit. He doesn't have a map of fucking the Earth. Like, he's not prepared for this, for the biggest job of his entire life. He didn't come with a map. He's a map reader and doesn't come with a map.
Well, now he's an interpreter. He was a map reader.
Oh.
Now he interprets. They found out the coordinates are Wyoming.
Yeah.
Which, what luck. Happening in the U.S. out of anywhere. It's happening in Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking great.
Yeah. Well, you would think it would be somewhere in the United States if all these UFOs, too, are kind of popping up coincidentally in the United States. Like, you know. I mean, it's a global thing, but I'm saying from the coincidence of all the UFOs that have been showing up in this storyline in America.
They're just in India. So that's telling us there's probably storylines all over the world where this is happening.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
And fuck India. This is the second time on this podcast I've had a bone to pick with India. Barry and Mom. Barry's playing the song on a xylophone. The yeah.
So the
just
kid is like fully connected. Yeah.
Doing that. Mom's drawing mountains and then throwing them away.
Yeah.
Like going out back like to their trash can and just crumbling them up and throwing them away. Barry looks at the storm that's a brewing in the distance and starts giggling and says, "Toys!" Guys, Barry is fucking adorable.
He's adorable,
I
but
love
he
this
is
little kid.
creeping the shit out of me too.
Bright, colorful lights start coming out of the storm, and Mom's like, "Oh fuck!" Goes in, like starts locking doors and windows and stuff. Like that's gonna keep aliens out.
That can like
You're like, let me lock the door. That'll keep it. That'll keep us safe.
yeah. And as she's doing that, Barry walks back over to the front door and just opens it up, and there's just 3 big bright red lights like a UFO is just right out front door, and she runs over, she like yells, screams, and like closes the door and begins like to keep everything closed.
Closes and locks it. Barry goes over to the chimney, looks up and says, "You can come play now."
Yeah. And it's
He's
like
so fucking cute, guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's great. He wants to play with him.
and they try to like hype that up because the light shines through the chimney now, and then she's like, "Oh fuck no!" And she's like forgetting how to close her chimney, so it like really anticipates it up to where like you're getting a camera angle of like whatever's in the chimney is getting closer to her, and she closes it right in time, which is you know the whole thing is kind of
Right in
silly
time.
because it made it seem as if closing the doors did work. Because they were like shaking the doors and shit.
The air vent on the ground, like the screws just start slowly coming out of it.
Yeah.
And then it pops up and Barry yells, "Bang!" Mom throws something on top of the air vent. The vacuum and all the appliances in the house start going fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Mom tries calling 911, and when she dials it and puts it up to her ear, instead of like being a like a ringing noise, it's do do do. It's doing the song.
It's doing the song.
Barry then crawls through the dog door, and Mom kind of watches it happen and doesn't do much.
And this
to
is like the
stop
4th
Barry.
fucking time she's just let Barry escape from her.
She does a really bad job. Barry's gone. She opens the door. He's completely gone.
And you just see, which is another cool shot, her like running out towards like the clouds, and the clouds are like with the UFO lights in the clouds. They're just like escaping her pretty quickly, like up into the sky. And she's like crying and freaking out. But you know what? Her fault. You don't let go of your fucking child when you're scared shitless.
She is... Do you know who's a better mother than her?
Who?
Casey Anthony. Oh. She is the worst mother I've ever seen.
Jesus.
She is awful. She doesn't deserve Barry.
That's a statement.
Barry is better off with those aliens.
And you
than
know
this
what?
lunatic slutting it up on the side of the road like, "Oh, hey, Richard Dreyfuss. You see how burnt my titties are? Check it out." Like, fuck her.
Yeah, like her son almost died.
Where's Barry?
twice
Oh,
in the
he's
past-
over there with that weird mustache guy who's taking lots of pictures of him. Should I not let that happen? I don't even know. What should I do, Richard Dreyfuss? Like she's just awful.
Yeah, she was definitely fucking up a bunch.
Yeah. Now we're at the police station, and so like Mom went and reported that her kid was taken, and reporters are hounding her as she's walking out. Richard Dreyfuss is there, and she just looks at him and says, "They got him." She doesn't talk to any of the reporters. She gets in an elevator and leaves. People behind the desk at the police station say, "All right, guys, you can go into room 3655. They're ready." The guy running this meeting talks to these people like they're the biggest pieces of shit in the world.
And this is what pisses me off.
I'm all for the way, just because of how bananas it. Like, you don't talk to humans the way he does. He pulls up a picture and goes, "This, ladies and gentlemen, is a flying saucer."
And everyone goes,
And they're like, "Ooh!" And he goes,
oh, you even hear people, they're like, "See, I told you."
He's like, "It's made of whatever. It was manufactured in Japan. And in this picture, my son threw it across the lawn, and I got a picture of it in the air." So it's a plate.
Yeah.
That was
And he
fucking...
pulls up the plate, and he's holding the plate in his hand, and he's like, "It's a plate."
Like, what a fucking douchebag.
Well, and my thing is, like, dude, it's 1970. Like, you must have had a real point to prove because of how long it probably took to actually get that picture. It's not like cameras were really that, versatile.
Well, they talked in the next line is this other guy being like, and last year alone, there were 6.6 billion pictures taken in the U.S.
Yeah.
Which, who's keeping track of that number?
I mean, I guess back in the day, because like how he said, it's film, so they have to go get film processed.
Okay.
So they're going from like the film companies that are processing.
But the guy says that, and he's like, so with all those pictures, where are these pictures of the UFOs, Like, people want to, some things it's great to believe are real, like UFOs and Santa Claus.
Yeah, like literally just trying the shit out of these people.
But I haven't seen it. And he's like, I'm preaching the choir. I want to believe that there's life outside of here, but show me the proof, guys.
And then there was one other guy, he almost seemed like he was from... mistake me, tell me if I'm wrong, but like he was from the military or something. He looked like he was from something that was professional. Could have been.
You're talking about the guy who says the nonsense?
He says, he gives this statistic kind of about photos as well.
Okay, no.
Some guy speaks up and he says, well, there's all these photos. You never see a photo taken.
Guy wasn't with the military. The guy was, he was a news reporter.
Oh, news reporter. Yeah, he seemed like some professional kind of guy. Didn't just seem like the folks that were there, you feel me?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, there's never ever photos taken of car crashes or of plane crashes or something like that. Yeah. He's like, so explain
how
that.
do we know those are happening?
Yeah.
And then another guy doesn't really help the cause. Also, by the way, Dreyfus is at the table. It's like a big room. There's a bunch of people around the edges. Dreyfus is at the table and close to the people running the meeting.
And the majority of the folks that are there.
How did his unemployed ass first of all get in that room, but get a seat at the table and be close to the speakers?
The reason why is because it was like a community hearing for specifically the people that were all there that saw the UFO. So almost everyone that was sitting at the table were the people that were on the street. That's why that dude that ended up standing up that was also sitting there was talking about, which was the family father. The dude that ended up talking about.
Yeah, it blew my mind that those two were... Okay, so this was a community thing. The reporters were just there.
The Air Force went there to basically tell the people that there was a community hearing because there was an uproar in the community about the UFOs. So the Air Force went there to basically say, you're all fucking stupid, stop worrying about it.
Okay.
To basically just like quiet it down because they didn't want the community uproar. Yeah.
All right. The guy, one of the other guys from the road said he saw Bigfoot once.
Yeah.
And that kind of, they're just like, we just lost this meeting.
Yeah.
This fucking idiot. UFOs, sure, but Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Get out of here, man.
And the guy he felt so proud of himself. Like, yeah, I got him.
Yeah.
They're all believers now.
Yeah. He's like,
and Dreyfus is just like, fuck.
It's something I wouldn't want to hear twice, the squeal that Bigfoot made.
Yeah.
And they're just like, Dreyfus aggressively draws a triangle on the piece of paper in front of him, breaks his pencil doing it.
Yeah, and then we cut from that scene.
Now we cut from that screen to some fucking just squad. They're all wearing matching red jumpsuits. They're walking in a straight line.
You don't really get what's going on.
Not at all. It's just they squatted up.
Yeah. And I thought something crazy was about to happen.
And they're getting these pamphlets and they're loading onto a bus and you're like, all right, let's fucking do it. Mm-hmm. Let's do it. Russell from NBC and the French guy are there. Bunch of people are having like little separate meetings. They're like, we're going to Wyoming. We got to shut the area down. We can't let the general public be around it. We can't let them know what's happening there.
Yeah. So one of the the main dudes is like, I need to find a way to clear 300 miles around like around this part of Wyoming. So they're talking about like ways of doing that. Yeah, that's like one of the things that they were going over.
So they realized the coordinate is they want to go to the Devil's Tower in Wyoming.
And
Braden,
that was
this is where I want to ask you, why did you pick this movie?
So I seen this movie like a while ago, like probably like fucking 8 years ago or some shit. Like in probably high school, I saw the movie. And I couldn't remember. Like I liked the overall feel of the movie. I'm into aliens, UFOs, and everything. So I enjoyed aspects and I was intrigued by the movie, but I forgot how fucking long it was. I'll definitely say that. But
it had nothing to do with current events.
I just shit my pants. But how so? What current events?
All right. So the second Devil's Tower came up. I said, if this is why Braden picked this movie, good on him, honestly. Good on him. So Gabby Petito's dead body
Oh my Jesus
was found
Christ.
at Devil's Tower in Wyoming.
Really? Devil's Tower? Seriously?
Yeah. And I was
Really?
when they said that, I was like, "Is this why Braden picked this fucking movie?"
Wait,
I was like,
really?
I was
They
like, "Did he
found her-
pick it because of?"
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And that's where I was like, "This is."
I thought they just
wild.
found her body somewhere in Wyoming. I didn't know it was like
I believe it was near Devil's Tower.
that's
Because
crazy.
I've recently heard the name Devil's Tower.
And what kind of got me upset was the fact that Dreyfus and Barry's mom.
Don't get too far ahead.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
All right. So that's when I heard Devil's Tower. I was like, if Braden picked it because of Gabby Petito, good on him. Good on him.
Damn.
And you know what? I would have changed my grade on the movie if you were like, yeah, that's why I picked it. I'd be like, all right, this movie gets a 5.
No, David, it's because I want to talk about all my UFO experiences with that, resemblant.
Yeah, no, you just wanted the dude. We did. You, me, and Nick all broke down 20 North American wrestlers and why we thought they deserved to be in the top 20. 3 people did 20 people. And this podcast is going to be longer than that because you wanted to talk about your fucking UFO experiences.
I wish I can go deep.
You wanted to watch a shitty movie to talk about your UFO experiences.
I love aliens, bro. I'm trying to get abducted fucked, David.
So Dreyfus and the family are at the dinner table. Dreyfus is being all quiet and shit.
and he's
then
just playing with his.
so then
the way
he
I
gets
wrote it down too.
he gets past the potatoes, and he scoops a ton onto his plate and starts like fucking around with it. like
I literally wrote down. Roy's just fucking playing with his food.
that's what he's doing. He's like piling up, and then he has his fork and he's scratching it,
Playing with his food.
The whole family's watching him. They're all nervous as fuck.
Dude, his kid is crying.
Kids are crying. He starts sobbing, which really puts everyone at ease. And then he tells them, this means something really important. I know it. This is something. This is going to be really important.
And then says, I know Dad seems strange, but Dad is still Dad.
Dad's still Dad. This is really important.
Yeah.
Really puts them at ease.
Well, David, and next time we're out to eat, bro, and I'm playing with my food, picking at the chicken, making mountains out of mashed potatoes.
Just tell me Dad's still Dad, and
Yeah.
it's really important.
Yeah.
I'll be
Well,
like,
no,
okay.
I need you to cry.
Okay.
That's what I need, David.
So now he's in on the table where the train was earlier, and he's building a big clay dirt mountain on the table. It's big. It's fucking huge. And then he starts hitting it and scratching. He's from this point on in the movie, there's not a scene where he is not just drenched in sweat. He is sweating bullets doing this.
And that's the makeup artist. That's why they won that award.
Yeah. And then he runs outside and just starts screaming at the sky. What is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
He has a over the top compelling urge to try and express this image that is repeating in his mind that has somehow been probably put there by the UFO aliens.
So the next
and I don't think we touch on this. The sunburn has been getting worse, on one half of his body as it's been going. Not crazy worse, but just it's a little bit worse. Just as a sunburn.
I didn't
would.
notice that.
Just a little bit more red.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next morning he wakes up just at the he didn't go to bed. He's head down on the table next to the thing. His kid is sitting in a chair watching Looney Tunes. She's like, "Am I gonna be in trouble?" He's like, "No, you're fine. You're fine." And then he just starts ripping all the UFO stuff off the wall. He's like, "I'm taking it down, honey. You're right.
I'm gonna be fine.
You're right." And then he tries to rip down the clay thing and just rips off the top. And then stares at it, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
Brought the vision back.
He realizes what it means, and he runs. Then we just see him. It's the camera shot is from inside the kid's room. He's outside the window ripping plants out. Mom slept on the floor in the kid's bedroom that night. That's how fucking unhinged and crazy Richard Dreyfuss is. That the wife is like, "I'm sleeping in the kid's bedroom."
Yeah, and I didn't really like their fight. I thought the
got-
fight was dude, you just I don't know. So she walks.
He's ripping the plants,
Yeah, but
And-
this happened though. I don't know. Well, really quick, but she walks in and sees him like just like fucking having a breakdown in the bathtub, like crying, and then they start fighting, and she just starts like shitting on him as he's like obviously having a really hard time dealing with this shit, and I just didn't like the way that they kind of fought. It just felt like it was like a little forced with like the dialogue, not like the acting, more just like the script.
He's in the bathtub
This is after dinner.
and they're fighting
They fight. Yeah. They fight. So then
in the bathtub.
he was all dressed. He was all dressed and he was laying down in the bathtub and the shower was going. And then she like went in and then saw that. This is right before he goes outside. That's why she ended up sleeping in that room, because they got in that big fight. That's why they slept in different parts of the house and stuff like that. You don't remember?
This scene did not exist. I rented this movie on Amazon Prime.
Maybe I got the extended version.
That scene did not exist. So, like, we go from dinner to him doing the clay stuff and running outside and screaming, and then just the next morning. There was no argument between him and his wife that night in the version that I watched. That would have made more sense.
Yeah, so in the version I watched,
had I seen an argument between those two.
Yeah, so after that, they cut back and she opens up the fucking... So the bathroom door is locked, and she's like, what the fuck? And she starts like freaking out. And then, because she like hears him like crying in the bathtub, and the door's locked, and she like fucking like is like, get the fuck open. And she opens up the door after like pigeon the lock, and he's fully clothed, laying in the bathtub, crying, and the shower's just pouring on him. And he's like, I'm sorry, and just like crying. And then she is just like flipping out on him, like, you don't got a fucking job, you're crying in the bathtub, get a hold of yourself, and like all this shit. And she's like, I'm fucking done. All this shit, just like flipping out. And it just like it just went like 0 to 100 really quick. My thing is like, if you see your significant other obviously having a mental breakdown, maybe not pile on the fact that he's broke or doesn't have a job, like certain other things. She was laying it into him. And all he asked, I swear to God, the entire time, just said, please, can I just hug you? Please, just hug me, please. And she's like, get away from me. And then she, to the point to where he's like trying to hug her, and she runs in the bathroom, closes the door, and locks it. And she's like, leave me alone. And then he like walks out, and then we see her wake up the next day. We see him wake up the next day. That happens, and he runs outside, wakes up the mom while picking up the plants and everything. You see, yeah.
So, dude, like, based off of what I saw, because I did not have that scene, I'm 100% on her side through all of this nonsense that's going on here. Having known that there was a chance where she could be like, listen, it's going to be all right, we'll get you help. Something like that. Had there been like a scene where she could have done that, I'd have been like, she's still in the right.
Yeah.
Here, but like I'd have been like, all right, you know what, fucking, she's not that great.
Yeah. It was so funny, bro. I was sitting there, I'm like, dude, this
That's
dude's
crazy.
having a mental breakdown.
Yeah, that
He's
scene
crying.
needs to be in the movie.
Yeah, he's crying, asking just to hug her, and she's like, get away from me. Just for the next morning, for her to wake up to see him pulling plants out like a crazy maniac, and she's like, I'm sorry about last night. And he's just like, no, we're good. And just like pulling all the plants out.
He's pulling plants. The wife's like coming out. She's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, you're going to love it, Ronnie. You're going to love it. Don't you even worry. You're going to love it. You'll see. You're going to love it. And she's like, oh. And then he's throwing just plants and dirt through the kitchen window into the kitchen.
Yeah, like everything. Like
He's
bricks.
like-
He was even throwing bricks in there.
He's like, no. Don't be scared. I haven't felt this great in years.
And it's like 7 a.m. and the whole neighborhood's popping. You know, this is the 70s neighborhood. Yeah. Everyone's out on bikes.
Garbage truck pulls up and like he sees it.
Oh, this is the most fucked up thing.
Doesn't look like, oh, like, let me real quick before he does it. He looks angry at the garbage truck and walks over. The garbage man grabs the can like he's gonna go. He runs up, grabs the can. The garbage man's holding and like wrestles with him, gets it, dumps some of it out in front of the garbage guy. And then walks away with the best and dumps the rest in his kitchen window.
Which, dude, if you're the garbage guy, you're like, I'm not picking up this fucking garbage.
Oh, he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't. Later, you see the garbage truck's gone. There's trash all over the front.
Okay,
like,
good.
Garbage man wasn't picking it up.
Good, yeah.
That would have been great if he's like, all right, I'll pick it up off the ground and throw it in the truck. He steals Mrs. Harris's small fencing.
Without even asking it.
Which encloses her ducks. And he's like, I'll pay you for the fencing. And she points her hairdryer at him and says, go away.
Yeah, because he, like, for some reason starts to walk up to her.
Aggressively.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll pay you for the fencing, Mrs. Harris.
With the fence, like, in his hands, like.
She's like, it's illegal what you're doing. Go away.
Can you imagine waking up to your neighbor doing this at, like, 7 a.m.?
And, like, in her ducks, it's like, full-size ducks and little baby ducks. They're just all over the place
and
now.
I think Dreyfus's wife is, like, trying to, like...
She's like, no, stay in there. Come on. They're just trying to keep them in the area.
Ducks are going to stay in the fucking...
Yeah. She's trying to show Mrs. Harris. She's like, I'm not on board with what's going on here.
Yeah.
So Mom then, she loads the kids in the car, and she's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Dreyfus walks out. He's like, what are you doing? She goes, we're going to my sister's. And he looks at her and he goes, that's crazy. You aren't even dressed.
Yeah, and she looks at him. She's like, crazy? And then just, like, floors it.
Pulls out. He jumps on the hood of the car, and he's like, don't leave. What are you doing? And then she, like, guns in, starts going forward, and he rolls off the side.
And the whole neighborhood is outside just watching this, which is hilarious. Because that's how it would probably be in, like, 1977.
Yeah, they're all out seeing it. And then he's like, well, all right, he grabs some more stuff from the yard, throws it in the window, climbs a ladder in through the window, pulls the ladder in with him, and gets back to work.
He's so awkward, though. As he's walking back, he, like, looks at his neighbor, like, one of his neighbors. He's like, good morning. He's, like, trying to, like, play it off as if it's, like, all natural.
So he gets back to work, and the big payoff is that he now has a big model of the Devil's Tower instead of a small one.
It's the exact same model, just like...
It's the same thing, just way bigger.
Yeah, just like
way bigger.
To the ceiling. Like, it literally almost
and
touches
way more
the ceiling.
detail. Like, it looks exactly like what the Devil's Tower looks like in this movie.
For sure. But, like, you know, you still had almost enough of a representation to... He just had such a compelling urge to just, like, I guess have to create it to express that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The TV is on, and the ending of the hit soap opera Days of Our Lives, that show ends, it does some commercials, and then cuts to the news. And the news anchor is saying that a train derailed near Devil's Tower in Wyoming and spilled a bunch of chemicals all over the place. He doesn't say it like that. He says it better than that. So they're evacuating the area. And...
yeah. They're basically trying to, like...
Oh, during this, while this is happening, he's on the phone with his wife being fucking crazy. And we can't hear what she's saying, but he's like, what do you mean? You're going to stay there? No, we have to... How long? He's like, No, Ronnie, we have to do this in person. We have to do this in person, Ronnie. Yeah. No, don't you hang up. Just don't hang up. And then she hangs up, and he slams the phone down. And the TV then shows a picture of Devil's Tower. And Dreyfus, like, gets up close to the TV and is like, oh, my God. And at the same time, it cuts to Barry's mom, who gets up real close to the TV and is like, oh, my God, that's it?
Yeah.
That's the shit right there.
And then she, like, jumps back to, like, her paintings and just, like, caressing her paintings almost.
Yeah. So now Dreyfus is on the move. He's reading the map and driving. And
so really quick, I guess we could say, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you didn't think, like, well, I guess this is the time before the internet.
It's 1977. If you hadn't been to Devil's Tower, Wyoming, you don't know that exists.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
He's reading the map and driving on the wrong side of the road, because of course he is. Almost hits a bunch of cars.
Again, because he, didn't learn the first time.
Swerving. There's mass chaos. There's one guy on, like, around all the people selling birds, and he's like, these birds will die an hour before the gas will affect you, so buy a bird, and when the bird dies, you got an hour to get out of there. And so Richard Dreyfuss buys a bird. He's like, oh, yeah, cool. Need a bird. Then he's over, like,
smart idea. If there's ever, like, some apocalyptic shit going on, start selling birds.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
I wasn't even buying the bird. I was like, you don't know that it's going to die an hour before. Yeah.
Start
selling them? Absolutely. Richard Dreyfuss goes over, like, a military blockade. He's on the side that he shouldn't be on.
Oh, yeah.
And Apollo Crews walks up. Or not Apollo Creed.
Yeah, I was about to say Apollo Creed.
Apollo fucking Creed walks up, and he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, you got next to kin over here? He's like, yeah, my sister. He goes, what's your sister's name? And he's like, she's probably out of here. And he's like, I mean, I can tell you where she is. We got everyone out of here at noon yesterday, but you give me the name, I'll tell you where she is. He goes, it's Smith. And he goes, Smith, huh? He's like, we've got orders to shoot anybody looting over here. Smith? Why don't you pass that information along? And he's like, yeah, we'll do. And, like, gets the fuck out of there. Apollo Creed's like, I'll fucking murder. That is all Apollo does. It's pre-Rocky.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that that's his only part in the movie.
Yeah.
But Apollo's like, yeah, you better get the fuck out of here. Smith? Barry's mom is, like, on a train. They're trying to get her out of there because they're evacuating people, and she sees Richard Dreyfuss, starts screaming his name.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And they see each other through the crowd, and they fight through the crowd, and then they get to each other, and they embrace. And he's like, all right, let's go. Let's go. And so she gets in the car with Dreyfuss, and they're driving. He's like, we gotta, there's gonna be military everywhere. We gotta go off-road to get to where we want to get. So drives through a fence. And then he's just driving like a maniac.
Barbed wire fence.
Barbed wire
fence.
And
and they kind of drove through it not too fast to where it's like, oh, this is going to get tangled up around the tires or something. Like, you're not going to be able to keep driving, dude. Like, you didn't break through that. The thing is just going to slide underneath your fucking tires, and it's going to fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
But nope.
It stayed, like, up on the hood.
Yeah. But they drove through, like, 2 of them. Like, I think, again, in a little bit.
Oh, and he's driving like a fucking maniac out there, and then they pull up to a roadblock, but they pull off to the side of the road because to the left, they see Devil's Tower.
Yep.
And they both get out of the car, and they're like, oh, my God.
Oh,
there it is. They're in fucking awe.
Yeah.
And then they get back in and start driving, and they see dead cows, dead horses, dead sheep all along the road.
And they're not just... Oh, yeah, they are just dead. I was actually... thinking that, these might be mutilations like how in conspiracies where, I don't know if you've ever seen, but in alien conspiracies, there's like cattle and horse mutilations that are like really well done to the point to where like no one knows how these things are done. That's a conspiracy. It's like,
okay.
How are the organs?
I can mutilate the fuck out of a cow.
But how are the organs and the brain and like certain parts of these beings like taken out, like the cows and stuff, without like fully opening them up? It's like something they don't know how it's being done.
You go through the ass and you just pull it out.
Which is what David, thank you. Because that's what I've fucking said now for years. And it's like, what are we, the only smart people to fucking go over this shit?
Have you seen a cow's ass? They're fucking huge.
Dude, they can fit everything through there.
Yeah, you can get both arms up there. You get a good enough surgeon. He knows what he's doing in there. He
and
cuts out the
thing.
things.
Yank it out.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
So they're driving. They put their gas masks on. The birds aren't dead at this point.
Yep.
Then they pull up to a bunch of people with hazmats. They make them get out of the car. One of the hazmat guys goes in, grabs the birds, and the birds are dead.
Yeah.
I don't know if the birds died on their own or if that guy killed the birds. I don't get what happened there.
I can explain, but I'll explain it a little bit because they show kind of.
Dreyfuss and Barry's mom, they get taken separately to go be interrogated.
Yeah, don't you hate when that happens? It gets split up.
It's the worst. Are you kidding me?
Especially with the girl you're about to,
about to fuck.
Cheat on your wife with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she left him. She took the kids and left him.
Yeah, good excuse.
The French guy and Russell from NBC are talking to Dreyfuss, and they take a really long time to just get to the point where they're like, have you had a close encounter with something unusual?
Yeah, it took him a while.
It took it was nonsense before that. Dreyfuss starts yelling at him. He's like, "You think you'll tell me it's a chemical spill? I saw something out there.
You need to tell me what's going on.
something. You gotta tell me what's going on." And they're like, "Fuck out of here!
Yeah.
They're like, you're going crazy. Get out of here." So they're taking him. He's still yelling at them, and they're taking him. They put him on a helicopter with a bunch of other people, and it's real weird vibes with all the people.
Yeah.
They're all giving him weird
some
looks.
of the other people, too, were some of the people that saw the UFO. Like, one of the old people were some of the old people that were on the street with them and stuff. So
and Larry's seen some shit.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, they have, like, a helicopter with probably, like, 10 people. And then he ends up asking everyone, he's like, hey, like, who... I'm getting off this. Like, who's willing to...
Not yet.
Okay.
So they show Russell from NBC and the French guy. They're talking to, like, the army guy who's in charge of that camp. He's real mad that they brought those people.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, why are you bringing these fucking people here? He's like, they made it further than anyone, and I don't think it's a coincidence that they all
This is like one of the
knew
scientists.
to go to the Devil's Tower and the song and all this stuff, like all this shit and all these people. Because he interrogated them all. He's like, they all had very similar stories.
Yeah, he's trying to tell the main military like leader of this operation, like, hey, all of these, it's not a coincidence. All these people ended up here with like a fascination with the Devil's Tower and all this. Like, they have to be being told telepathy or something, or like telepathically to come here. There's got to be something more to the reason why they're here. Basically trying to tell the military leader, we need to keep these people here. There's probably something between them and the aliens, and as to why the aliens maybe want them here. It's going to help our operation. It's like how
Army guy's not having it.
yeah, he's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know shit.
So now Dreyfus starts the uprising on the helicopter.
Yeah, he's like, I'm getting out of here. Who wants to come with me? And then it's Barry's mom and one other guy, Larry. Which Larry kind of looks
so
like.
So a few other people tried. Those are the three that got off.
Oh, I thought
the army blocked the other people from getting off.
I thought they were distracting them or something. I thought is what it was.
So a few other people were like going to get off as well, and the army like blocked them, closed the door, and the helicopter took off.
And so now, Dreyfus, Barry's mom, and Larry, they're running
for the mountain,
and like. People are like, hey, what are you doing? Like as they're like running by people, like, hey, get them or this or that or whatever. And they just keep running. And they end up like, what, in the forest, right?
Yeah. In the woods out there. The French guy sees it through the window. He's happy.
Yeah, he smiles.
He's like, yeah, we go.
Get it. Yeah.
Get it, Drife.
This is what the aliens want.
The rest of people leaving the helicopter, and then everyone at the base there take off their gas masks because there's not a fucking chemical spill. And they're like, this is uncomfortable. Let's rip this off.
So now
it's kind of like all those bullshit mask mandates trying to spread this fake virus.
Tell him, David.
Yeah.
So now it's like nighttime, and they're like climbing up like rock.
No? Hold on. Army guy gets a call from his superior saying to dust the place at 2000 hours if they can't get everyone. Whether or not, if they don't get everyone off the mountain, they need to dust the place at 2000 hours. And Russell from NBC is like, what the fuck does dust it mean? And he's like, it's this riot control gas. It'll just knock them out for 6 hours. They'll wake up with a headache. I don't know if he's telling the truth, but
I have no idea, and I don't. No, maybe it is the truth.
I looked up the gas that they said in the movie, and I could find nothing on it. Yeah. It was like EZ4 or something, and I was like, I don't.
Yeah,
I got nothing.
They made it seem like those animals were dead, though, not just like passed out. But yeah, maybe just passed out.
Yeah, they meant for the people.
No, I know.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if it's going to kill a horse or a fucking cow, it's sure. So now we're climbing up the mountain, right?
So did they hit the birds with that gas?
That's what I'm saying. It's got to be.
Is that? I was hoping the guy just fucking killed the birds. I was hoping he had a second to himself over there, just reaching the cage, just snaps the birds' necks.
Well, we don't see.
And he's like, "Oh, you birds are dead. Oh, that's too bad."
But no, yeah. So now it's nighttime, and the three are trying to like climb up rocks that are like kind of on the mountain steep, and a helicopter is like flying around, and it's like shining lights on them.
And there's soldiers on the ground as well.
Also, looking for them, trying to like because someone probably told them that 3 people went running off into the woods, so they went to go try and find them. And yeah, the army doesn't find them, but the helicopter gets really close. But another helicopter, I don't know if it's the same or if it's a different one, but it comes around and you see it start to spray gas.
Not yet. They have a little meeting where they're trying to figure out, like, oh, what's the best way to do this? And Larry had a shit idea. Barry's mom had nothing. And because Richard Dreyfuss made such a fucking detailed model of the Devil's Tower, he's like, I know exactly how to get over there.
Yeah, you're right.
He's spot. And they're like, oh, none of my doodles had any of this. He's like, I made a huge clay model in my house. I know this place exactly. Here's what we're going to do. Let me quarterback this shit.
Which makes sense because it makes it seem like now it paid off that he was so fucking crazy.
He's out of his mind. Like, he's the one.
It's the one good reason that he went so apeshit.
So now they're running. Larry is fucking dead weight. Larry is 100 yards behind them.
Yeah, so it's like,
They're
what the
yelling,
fuck?
"Come on, Larry!"
Yeah, Barry's mom, apparently is in super good shape because she is fucking flying up this mountain, but can't chase down her own fucking 3-year-old child. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah,
now they start dusting.
then
the
they
area.
spray the gas, they dust the area, and Larry
Gets dusted.
I thought he fucking died, but maybe he was just passed out for 6 hours.
6 hours. He'll wake up with a wicked headache. Dreyfus keeps taking hard falls down the mountain.
Bro, this shit was getting me
And
hot.
crawling up, falling hard, and I'm like, oh, he's fucking himself up. And then crawls up, tries to falls again, and then crawls up, and Barry's mom grabs his hand and helps pull him up.
And they're making it very antsy because the helicopter's
coming in dust, and they got to get over.
That and the light. The light was super close. They were shining a light on the mountain too, and the light was just getting super close to them. But they escape and they turn the corner to find on the other side a big I don't want to call it a military base, but
it's a big base.
Yeah, just it's supposed to be specifically for contacting these aliens. So when they get there, they see that they turn on these lights, which are the runway lights, to basically say and it's kind of like a round base for the UFOs to come in so that they can communicate. And then now we're kind of at the base, and we're seeing the scientist
Russell and French
yeah.
are there, and a bunch of other science-looking people, and they keep playing the song from India.
Yeah, and they're testing it too. So they're testing it. One of the guys is like, "Oh, it's a beautiful night for contact" or something. He said something like that. I'm like, "Oh, that's nice." I just like to think, some dude just had a job to be the walkie-talkie, or the dude on the speakers. Hey, everyone, we're gonna have a great night tonight, and keep your smiles on your faces. And
you know what? The guy did talk more than I would have expected the guy on the speaker to be talking.
it's a really nice, beautiful night out there. We're gonna have a great contact with our fellow ET friends. He's literally just you're on a roller coaster ride with this fucking dude, but you're about to do the biggest thing in humanity ever, and this dude is just on there just casual as fuck.
So the UFOs, the smaller ones, they circle the camp, and then they don't land, but they get down real low and hover over.
Yeah,
they start doing the song from India.
Well, the humans start doing the song from India. They start doing some notes. They're hitting certain notes to try and communicate in certain ways. And then after a little bit, they're almost waiting a response, and one of the main scientist dudes walks out and puts his hands up kind of almost thing. And the 3 UFOs, they raise up and they start making some crazy noises.
They do, and then they do the do boop 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 whatever the fucking the thing was. I forget it already.
Yeah,
they start doing it back, and all the science guys just start clapping and shaking hands. They're like, "We did it!
We made contact!
We fucking did it!" And then the UFOs fly away over them, off into the distance.
And you think it's done.
They're all cheering, and then you see a huge storm. From off in the distance, coming before. Huge storm, and another UFO comes from the opposite direction, flashes lights back and forth with the UFOs in the storm, and now there are 40 little UFOs just flying all over the place.
Yeah.
It is madness. Dreyfus asks Barry's mom if she wants to go down there. And she says, it's weird her response. She says, "No, I'm good here. Barry's not here. I'm just not ready."
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Barry's not here. I'm just not ready. I want to stay where my son isn't, is how it sounds. It can't be what she means. But it sounds like she's I am enjoying this break from my son. He might be down there with the aliens, and I want to stay where he's not.
I love the way you interpret it, David.
That's what it sounds. So, I know that's not what it was meant to mean. But, the sentence she says, that's how it directly would be interpreted.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I I have to go down there. He's a fucking psycho about it. He's like, I can't stay here. I have to go down there.
Which, if you've gone this far, yeah, I would be the same.
Sure,
way too.
but just the way he says it.
Yeah.
It's like, but I have to go down there, all right? And she's like, yeah, I know. And then they kiss. And then he goes down.
Duh. Like, we saw that coming.
Yeah. And then he goes down, and then a humongous...
I mean, he can't be, though, with someone that is as psycho as his ex-wife or his wife, who's going to go out in public wearing what she was wearing.
I mean, that was crazy.
That was
going
crazy.
to her sister's house, not even dressed?
Come on.
Fuck's
dude.
wrong with her?
Yeah.
This huge UFO comes over, and everyone's watching the big ship. It's fucking humongous. And this allows Richard Dreyfuss to get onto the base, and he gets, like, right in the middle of everybody. And then he pulls out, like a clicker thing and detonates the suicide vest.
Yeah.
And kills everybody on the base.
And I was like, oh, this is awesome.
I was like, this is fucking crazy, because, like, no one saw that coming.
Now you're starting interplanetary war? Like, come on.
And, like, he kills everyone on the base.
Yeah.
Everyone's dead. Only Barry's mom survives. The UFO blows up, too.
Mm-hmm.
Only Barry's mom survives. And then Barry shows up, and he stares at her, and he says, whores don't get second chances. And he fucking stabs her with, like, a gardening, little handheld gardening rake thing. Kills her. None of that happened. Richard Dreyfuss gets onto the base while everyone's looking at the UFO. You know what? This movie would have gotten a high score if that's how they decided to end it. I'd be like, you know what? Good on them.
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss gets down there.
It makes sense that he's able to kind of just, like, be around them because everyone is so astonished by this
Yeah, no
UFO.
one's like, hey, sir, you got to get out of here. They're
Whoa,
like,
where the fuck did you come
yeah,
from?
They're like,
yeah.
whatever. This is crazy.
Yeah.
The ship gets down really close. Everyone puts on aviator sunglasses. Everyone except Richard Dreyfuss didn't have any, but everyone else had a pair of aviator sunglasses.
Well, it makes sense because they're all getting sunburnt as fuck, you know. But you think if they knew about this, they would do something more than aviator fucking sunglasses to protect their eyes, you know? Like, what about their skin?
I mean, the aviators are cooler, though. I think that was the thing. They weren't going to put on.
We
like,
need to
they weren't
show
gonna put
the
on,
aliens
like, blind people glasses and be like, oh,
yeah, show them real culture and style.
Yeah. Aliens would be like, these fucking losers.
Yeah.
They start playing the tune and the ship plays it back and they have a little back and forth where they're playing it, and now Barry's mom is down there.
I just wish like someone would have started just freestyling on that motherfucking beat. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. Barry's mom is down there now, and a bright beam of light comes out the bottom, and people start to walk out. And it's the people who from the planes in the beginning.
Yeah.
All the people who went missing on those planes.
And some of the scientists you can hear say they haven't aged at all.
Yeah, they look like they've been missing for 30 years. They look like they're...
So I don't know if this is from alien technology. I don't think they specify, but I don't know if it's from alien technology or just from relativity. Because maybe where the aliens brought these people, comparative to our time, like relativity, just is like, it's just like a minute over there compared to here. I don't know if it's like they preserve them in an incubation tank or it's just like relativity or something.
They don't tell us.
Yeah, they don't let us know.
And then like some other people start coming off, and Barry comes off the plane. He is holding a man's hand and then sees his mom and lets go and goes up to his mom. We don't see the guy's face. We just see him holding an adult man's hand.
Yep.
And then why? Why is that part of it?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the people on board still have enough of their frontal cortex intact to know what reality is and say, and maybe this guy
I want to hold this little kid's hand.
Maybe make the kid comfortable.
The only thing that would make sense is if the actor who played Barry, it was slippery.
Just wanted to.
It was slippery or something. It's like a steep thing, and he wanted to. He's like, I need to hold someone's hand.
It was.
If that's why. That's fine. He's
that
a little
makes sense.
Little kid needs to hold a hand. Fine.
Yeah.
If they're just like, hey, this makes sense for the movie. Let's have Barry hold the strange man's hand.
Then that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
But
yeah, even a dog walks out with them too, and like a bunch of other people. But yeah, it's just basically just showing all the people that they abducted. They don't tell us why at all. They make it seem as if it's like like a good thing. Like as if stealing this child from his mother's arms, like holding on to the kid out the door, like fully stealing the kid from her. Like now it's just a good thing. It was a good thing.
I mean, they did more for Barry than
that
little slut ever could.
Yeah.
French walks up to Dreyfus.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What do you want?"
Yeah, which is like, for a what?
Yeah. Dreyfus says, "I just want to know what's happening." French then walks over to like a group of people, and he's talking about Dreyfus over there, and then comes back and just says, "I envy you." And then like a fucking aliens start coming off the aliens start coming off the ship.
Well, first there was one alien that came off, and it was motherfucking 10 feet fucking long. It was 10 feet fucking tall. First it was like in a crouched over position as if it was like on all fours, and then it got from underneath like the opening and stood up and just raised its arms out, and it was just a super fucking tall alien. Like it had to be like 10 feet tall.
Big alien. Aliens are big.
Well,
those are kid aliens that come out next.
Well, then there's the other one too.
So then Dreyfus is walking with somebody and he's giving him his health information. Dreyfus doesn't know his blood type, but he tells like his age, his his weight, all this stuff. He's telling him all this stuff. Then it cuts to, we see the jumpsuit crew again. They're praying they're in the room with some priest and they're praying. And then they come out in a line, and Dreyfus is with them now in the jumpsuit. He's part of the jumpsuit crew.
But as they're showing this, they cut to a bunch of little aliens now walking out the spaceship.
And it looks like little kid aliens.
Yeah, they look like little kid
and Barry
aliens.
is like pumped. He's like, oh, those are... So like that's the aliens that were in the house, and Barry saw them, and he's like, oh, he's friends with these guys.
Yeah, those are my homies.
Which
is crazy to think if the aliens are like, oh man, we're just going to show up to this random house on this random planet. We're just going to let my kids run into these extraterrestrial beings fucking place.
Kids are going to be fine.
And just steal food.
Dude, so you've done more research about aliens than I ever will.
Yeah.
You think if they come down to Earth, they haven't done research to know? Like, they know.
No, they do. But
they know They know their kids are fucking safe. They know nothing's going to happen to them.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. The little kid aliens, like, they come up, the jumpsuit crew's all in a line, and they pick Dreyfus, I guess. Because they all go over
funny.
and, like, they grab him by the hand, and he's just walking with them.
And they're like, there's like 20 of them that are just surrounding Dreyfus, walking him in. And he's almost being carried the way that they're like, all of their hands are on him, just like praising him almost.
Barry's mom is taking a bunch of pictures and smiling. Richard Dreyfuss turns around and gives like a real proud look and then keeps going with them. He gets on the ship.
Completely forgets about his family.
Yeah,
kids.
fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him. Fuck him.
And one of the alien kids looks back at French, and they do the sign language for the song that French was explaining to all the people in that big arena.
Uh-huh.
So they do that back and forth to each other.
Well, this alien, though, is bigger than it's like medium-sized alien. So it's bigger than the kid aliens, but it's not the 10-foot fucking tall alien. This alien is like 4 foot tall. And
it's a fucking teenage alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's kind of weird that he's the one that really come up and kind of communicate with them more than anyone else. You think that they wouldn't...
They just had a moment.
Yeah.
They had a fucking moment, man. Why you gotta poke holes in that? And then,
it's funny that like...
then the movie ends with Richard Dreyfuss. Richard Gere is another great actor.
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss gets on the ship, and he detonates his suicide vest, and the ship blows up, and a lot of the people on the base die as well. That's the movie, guys. That didn't really happen. He just gets on the ship leaves, and it says written and directed by Steven Spielberg. Bad movie. Bad movie. You don't need to waste your time watching. If you were a child in 1977 and you watched it and loved it, I understand. If you watch it for the first time in or if you saw it as a kid, even like in early 2000s, like I understand liking it. If you watched it for the first time as an adult in 2021, you're gonna not like it.
I think you'll find it intriguing.
You're gonna not like. There's no scenario where an adult watches it for the first time right now and is like, "That was a good movie."
No, I mean, I think so. I don't think you're going to be like, oh, wow, I want to watch it again. But I think you're going to find
You fucking did, asshole. You were like, I want to watch it again. I want David to watch it, and then I want us to talk about it for a couple hours.
Yep. But you're going to find it intriguing for sure. And I feel like the worst thing you're going to feel is they could have shortened it up, is how you're going to feel afterwards. Like, they could have cut it, pieced it together quicker.
You'll also feel like, man, it's 2021. Like, nothing that they did was cool.
David, you're totally shitting on this movie right now.
Yeah, it's not a good movie.
You know what, bro? I liked it, right? I was really hoping if the main alien, the 10-foot tall alien, just came out and just had like a ginormous dick, just started swinging it around like helicopter style, you know?
Yeah, that would have made the movie better,
right?
For sure.
She's like, look at this big old dick, you fucking
Because then I would have been like, oh, they're just trying to be ridiculous. Okay, I can grade this movie on a different scale. Like they have an alien swinging his dick around. They know what they're doing here. They know how bananas this is. So
I do want to say I did like the last spaceship. The other ones, they weren't that bad. I did really enjoy the red orb light, and I liked the fact that Steven Spielberg touched on a bunch of realistic aspects of UFOs, which is another reason why I felt like it was so intriguing, especially once again for a film to be made in 1977 before the internet, before mainstream, media could have such coverage on UFOs and all this shit, and just the different aspects of it. I just feel like Steven Spielberg really knocked it out the park. I felt like it held up for those aspects. But I understand what you're saying, David. I felt like it was drawn out, but that's how these films were back in the day. They're kind of... Whoa, David! I just saw David's dick, you guys.
Yeah. So, guys, next week, we're going to... There's a different movie that all week, because it's my pick. Different movie all week. I was like, we're going to do this movie. It's a good movie. It's just an inherently good movie. But I decided I'm putting that one on hold.
Okay.
Putting that one on hold because to celebrate the end of regular season baseball, start of the playoffs, we're doing the 2001 rom-com starring Freddie Prinze Jr., Jessica Biel.
God damn it.
Braden, we're doing Summer Catch, baby. We're doing Summer Catch! Ryan Dunn, the hard-throwing lefty in the Cape Cod League. I'm stoked. We're doing Summer Catch next week. And guys, I implore you to go watch Summer Catch prior to us doing it. And if you want to do that, you can rent it on YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, or Amazon Prime for $1.99. Or if you want to give them an extra $1, and honestly, you should. I can't imagine they made a lot off this movie. You should give them that extra $1.
You should.
You can rent it on Vudu for $2.99.
Look at that.
Guys, great movie. I'm excited to watch it again. I'm excited, with fall starting, it feels out of place, but is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing Summer Catch, baby.
Nice.
You ever seen Summer Catch?
No, I almost thought you were talking about, I think it's called First Pitch or some shit. Maybe it's not. It's like a Red Sox. It's what's it?
You thinking of Fever Pitch?
Yeah, where he's a Red Sox fan, and it's a
yeah. That's not Freddie Prinze. That's Jimmy Fallon.
No, yeah.
Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Which what? Red Sox are in the playoffs. If the Red Sox win the World Series, guys, best believe we're doing Fever Pitch.
I do want to say though that everyone that came off that spaceship got abducted and fucked. There was no way.
Especially Barry. I mean, dude, you can't do a weird laugh. You can't talk about everyone coming off that spaceship, getting abducted and fucked, and then I name one of the people off, and you, make a face like, I can't believe you just said that, David.
I totally forgot about Barry.
Yeah, there was a child. He was the main character that got taken. That's the main abduction of the movie.
Just the aliens like, I'm done with them now. You can have them back.
This is yours.
You know what? We're going to take one for good measure, too. You come with us, Dreyfus.
Guys, subscribe to the podcast if you're not already. Download all the episodes. You know, you can put on automatic downloads. I didn't know that. I have a newer iPhone now.
Yep.
My old iPhone, I didn't have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, anything. I could do nothing on that. Now I automatically download episodes of podcasts that I listen to, which is dope.
It's a new world.
So do that for the 5-6 Kings if you don't already. And guys, follow us on Instagram or Twitter. Guys, I sent our first tweet last week.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, for the Foxcatcher movie. I'll best believe I'll be sending one today.
Hell yeah.
I replied to some of Subway's stuff so far. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
We only got one follower, and it's yours truly. But follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. They're both at 5-6 Kings. That's FIVESIXKING. S. And guys, check us out. Tell your friends about us, and we hope we hope you're back next week.
Yeah.
Because Braden, when do we? There's got to be like a
day,
like a schedule. Like, got to stick to some sort of schedule for releasing these. When would that be?
Oh yeah, that's right. It's every motherfucking Monday.
Woo! Thanks for listening, guys.
Peace out.